Hey now. You don't even seem to understand the show. You just ruin everything. You gotta be funny in here. I can't wait for you guys to see this on Howard TV.
Daily shows, classics, and exclusive behind-the-scenes access.
Well, that's gonna be on Howard TV.
The funniest, sexiest, most star-studded network on TV is Howard TV On Demand.
Hey Stern fans, welcome to Fine Time, the show where you, the fans, get the opportunity to ask questions and interact with your favorite Stern Show staffers, whack packers, and celebrity superfans. I'm your host, Rachel Fine. Now, my guest today is one of the hardest working executive producers in the history of radio. He's very well read and continuously improving his education. He is a proud former Marine who served our country in the first Gulf War, and he has run for city council. He is often a target of Ned's song parodies, and he was once arrested for a live on-air stunt in which a pig was slaughtered. He has a history in Muay Thai, meaning that he trained for a couple months and then did his first fight in which he was TKO'd in 39 seconds. Howard once called him one of the best in the business. Please welcome from Bubba the Love Sponge Show, Brent Hatley. Thanks for joining us, Brent.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Outstanding. It's good to see you.
It's
good to see you. It's an honor to be on your show. You guys do a great job.
Thank you. I'm so happy to have you here. We had lots of questions come in, and I'm excited to ask.
Sure.
Fantastic. First one comes from @Kovac8. @Kovac8 asks, who are you endorsing for President of the U.S. and why?
That's easy. Ron Paul. I've been a long-time Ron Paul supporter because he's the only one that is truly anti-war. Because you don't really understand how brutal war is until you go.
Yeah.
Ron Paul was a surgeon during Vietnam, and I think he understands why he's anti-war and why he's not for interfering in other countries' business, number one. Number two, he wants to legalize marijuana. So what else do you want from a presidential candidate? I don't understand how he's not winning, but that's my endorsement is Ron Paul.
Excellent. Next question comes from @Cindy23. Cindy asks, has there ever been a moment on the show where you said to yourself, okay, we really screwed up this time and we will be in a lot of trouble?
Yes. I think I kind of got that feeling the day when you talk about the hog incident. I kind of got the feeling that day. Matter of fact, I was the one that was outside. I was on the cell phone reporting it. And I didn't really, like, while I was in the moment, get that feeling. But afterwards, like, because we were in a big building with salespeople and human resources and, like, corporate America. And the reaction of some of the people in the building, I was like, this is going to be trouble. I didn't know it was going to be as much trouble, but I thought it was going to be some trouble.
You felt it coming?
Yeah.
Do you regret it now, looking back?
Of course, yeah. I don't think we should ever do that again. But on the brighter side, we were acquitted, and our show has never not been number one since we did that. So it had some good upside to it as well, but we just wouldn't do it again.
Gotcha. Next question comes from Martin W. Martin asks, have you ever considered a serious political run?
Yes, I just ran for city council in the city of St. Petersburg in District 3, which is where I live. And in 3 years, I'm going to run again. And this first time was really, I knew I wasn't going to win. I was running against a longtime incumbent, but he's out. He's termed out, and it'll be an open seat in the next term. But I needed to run this last time just to get the feel of how the political process works. And I did learn. I learned a lot about how the political process works and how to get elected. So I think I will succeed when it's an open seat.
And will you be running on the legalized marijuana ticket?
Well, see, that's not in the purview of city council. If it was in the purview of city council, yeah, that would be that would be my position. But my position right now is we have red light cameras in St. Pete, and you get a ticket before you get a chance to even argue your case in front of a judge, and you don't get your Sixth Amendment right to cross-examine your accuser because it's a camera. Right. So my thing would be getting rid of red light cameras. I think that's a step towards European socialism when you start putting cameras on every corner. So my big thing would be more freedom for everybody and no dogs chained up in the yard.
I love it.
That's one of the ordinances I would make is you cannot chain your dog to a tree in Florida outside and just leave it in the yard.
I think the people need to vote for him. This is an excellent platform. Next question is from Angelo Valences. He asks, what is the most bizarre setup you ever had to prepare for regarding an on-air bit?
It'd have to be the rat milkshake.
He's holding the rat by the tail and it's circling over the blender. This is a dead rat. This is as dead as it gets.
I swear to God.
This is bona fide, man.
I swear to God.
That is the nastiest rat I've ever seen.
I swear to God, I am going to puke. Now, they're going to blend it. I will puke. I swear to God, I'll puke.
I had to go out. There's actually a place in Florida, believe it or not, called the Rat Farm. and I had to go see this redneck named Buzzy.
Awesome.
And what he would do is he gave me, they farmed so many rats, a certain amount of them just died just because. So he'd give me the rats that had just died of natural causes, and I'd have to go pick up the rats from the rat farm to come back to be able to do rat milkshakes on the air. So that's the most bizarre by far.
Yeah.
Amongst many bizarre things that we've done. That was the most bizarre for sure.
That sounds like it. Next question is from Eric P. Eric asks, are you still into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
I love it. I would love to do it. I'm out of time. We do 2 shows a day. Plus I do a sports show every other week. And then every Friday I do a talk show on serial killers. So I'm really, really busy, and I wish I could train more. I may take some private lessons. Rob Kahn was talking to me about coming down and doing some private lessons a couple times a week.
Right now, for those of you listening, Hoist has Brent in a back triangle, and he's squeezing the life out of Brent.
But I still love Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's great exercise. It's a great lifestyle. It's a healthy lifestyle. That's what I like about it the most.
Yeah. Alex from Hamburg asks, would you consider Bubba a close friend, and do you hang out in private?
Yes, he is a close friend. Since he bought his racetrack, I haven't been able to hang out with him much because it's a business, that racetrack. It's a good business because it's a good, for what they pay for their entertainment dollar, they get a lot for it. But Bubba physically has to be there to run the races, so I don't see him as much as I used to. But if the racetrack makes him happy, which it really, really does, you can see that he's much happier now owning a racetrack. I think that
At Dave Lamford 28 asks, what is the worst thing you have ever done to piss Bubba off, and how did he react?
it's going to sound lame, but it was kind of big at the time, is we were in Jacksonville one time to do a broadcast, and this was before the days of GPS. It was in '02, so we really didn't have GPS. So I had MapQuested from the hotel to the radio studio that we had never been to, but we got all kinds of lost, and we walked into the door to the radio station at 6 a.m. So Bubba freaked out. I mean, he was really, really, that's the maddest I've ever seen him. Because that feeling of being lost is bad anyway. And being lost and knowing that you have a show to do and no time to do any prep, he was furious about that. So that was the worst. But now we got GPS, so we don't get lost anymore.
Excellent. Next question is from Perry R. Perry asks, who is better on the radio, Howard or Bubba, and what does each bring to the table?
I think that's not, for me, the way I listen to radio, that's not really fair to compare, because they both do different things. I mean, it's all relative. Like asking somebody who's your favorite band. I like different bands for different reasons. I like them both for different reasons. Howard is these days a lot more calm and paced and very deliberate. When I first started listening to Howard in the early 90s, he was all kinds of pissed off. And that's when I really became a fan of Howard, because he would just bring people in and machine gun and just mow them down. Bubba, I like on the air because you never quite know. Like sitting in the chair producing the show for the full 4 hours. Honestly, my stomach is in knots because I just don't know what he's going to do. And that's the thing about Bubba, is you just don't know where he's going to go with something. And they're just different like that. Howard's very deliberate, and he kind of knows where he's going to go with things, and Bubba's like a bull in a china shop, so they're different, and you can't really say one's better than the other. It's all relative, and I've got a lot of respect for Phil Hendry too. I mean, I'm a huge fan of his, but they all three do different things, and I think that just like music, you've got to appreciate each air personality for what they do.
Absolutely. Next question comes from @Zuba. Zuba asks, if you had the chance to take over producing Howard's show, would you leave Bubba?
That's a tough question. It really is, because I got a lot of respect for Gary. Gary's a good friend of mine. I love Gary. I really do. And everybody that works at Howard Show does a great job, and they've all been fantastic, just great to me. That would, gosh, it would be tough for me to live in New York City. It would. We have a lot of room here in Florida, and Bubba kind of leaves me to be a little bit more autonomous. So I don't know. It would depend. Bubba's been good to me, so it'd be hard to leave Bubba after he's been so loyal to me after all these years. But Howard's also been great to me as well. So I would do it if Bubba didn't have a show anymore.
Fair enough. And Gary was not working there.
Yeah, I would never take Gary's job. I'd never step on Gary's toes. Gary's a great guy. He really is. People give Gary a hard time, and I know it's fun to goof on Gary, but Gary, deep down, is awesome. I love Gary.
Awesome. I want to thank Fred for taking the time to answer the questions that you, the fans, submitted. Keep sending your questions in. You can tweet them, you can Facebook them, you can email them, you can even send a video submission. Remember, this is your show, so don't screw it up. Until next time, I'm Rachel Fine, and I hope you had a fine time. I had a fine time with you, sir.
Thank you.
That was fantastic. It's enlightening.
You don't even seem to understand the show. You just ruin everything. You got to be funny in here. I can't wait for you guys to see this on Howard TV.
Daily shows, classics, and exclusive behind-the-scenes access.
Well, that's going to be on Howard TV.
The funniest, sexiest, most star-studded network on TV is Howard TV On Demand.
Good morning, Richie.
Morning.
Welcome back.
Hey, great to be back, man. It's been a long time, baby.
Yeah, it's been a number of years, I think.
But yeah,
That's right,
man,
sir.
too long.
Morning, guys. You're just gonna go right in there?
Hey, man.
How are you?
How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you, man. How's everything?
Good.
And then years later, after
What's cooking?
Looking forward to this, Richie? Looking forward to talking
Absolutely,
to
man.
You've had a busy last few years. You got a lot to talk about, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. Be a lot of fun.
All right, man. We'll let you get settled.
All good, buddy.
Richie Sambora, you know him from Bon Jovi, of course. I always thought that was weird that John's name got to be the band anyway. It could have just as easily been Sambora. Sambora's a good name for a band.
Yeah, you know what happened? When we were kids, it's like we really tried to find a name.
Right.
A different name.
Right.
And we couldn't. And John, I mean, we really tried for like months, man, and they all sucked.
Did anyone ever say Sambora?
No. No, they didn't, man. But you know, Howard?
Yeah. By the way, you look very
you know what
very
the great thing about making a solo record?
Yes.
You can actually name the band anything you want.
And what did you name the band?
We're just kind of rolling with a few names here.
Sambora.
The first name was The Disgusting Rabbis.
Oh, I love that.
I want you to help. You got any ideas?
That's it. Disgusting Rabbis is an unbelievable name.
How about, what's the other one here? We have Satan Castro and the Exiles.
I like that one.
No, I don't like. How about
Satan Castro and the Exiles? What are you talking about?
Bon Jovi.
How about the Katy Perry Dancers?
Oh, that's funny.
Richie Sambora and the Katy Perry Dancers.
I like that.
What else we got? We got the Fine Coxmen.
Oh, that's a good one, too. You know what? You're not bad with these names.
We got, let's see.
So choose one now so I can know what to call
I don't know. What do you think?
What else you got?
How about Dick and the Cocktails?
No, I don't like
that.
No? That's right. How about I Fucked Denise Richards? My man.
Steady.
Are you done with her?
Wait a minute.
I got a million questions for you.
All right, no problem. That's cool.
Go ahead.
No problem, buddy.
I don't hear Howard enough in my cans. Can you turn them up? And Robin, too, please.
Give him a little juice. Scott.
Yeah, I need more juice. You know what I'm saying?
Doing it back there.
They're doing it back because you just stare at Richie like nothing's happening.
Well,
Are they listening back there, Scott?
So, Richie, is it true you still take guitar lessons and vocal lessons?
Yes, I do, yeah.
That's an amazing dedication because I happen to think you're one of the best guitar players. You really are a tremendous guitar. And I think you're underrated, are you not?
I'm not sure. In some places I am, and in some places I'm not,
When they
Does he make those lists?
Yeah, when they make lists of some of the greatest guitar players of all time, they leave you off the list, and yet I've seen you play, and I know the music. Why are you left off of those lists?
I think it's a part of, in Bon Jovi, I don't get a chance to actually work out a lot.
Right.
So in essence, when you make a solo record like this,
right,
man, I got to tell you something. I want you to listen to the record because I think you're really going to like it. I get to wind out a lot more. You know what I felt in rock music? There's not a lot of jamming going on.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I got a bunch of great musicians with me.
Yeah,
and I don't have my electric here today, but
right.
On the record, you'll find a lot of great songs, and I get to be a vocalist again, which is always cool.
You started out as a vocalist.
Yeah.
Every band you were ever in, you were a vocalist.
I was a lead singer, yeah.
And then when you hooked up with Bon Jovi, which I don't even remember how the hell you met John and all that, but we'll go into that. But when you hooked up with him, suddenly you're not the lead singer. And is that a blow to you? Is that a blow to your ego, or do you because you can get lost back there, right?
Nah, not at all. The thing with me is I was always a working musician,
right.
And I never took it for granted. And I was trying to get a leg up in this business any way I could.
Right.
So,
what convinced you,
if I'm just going to be like a primary songwriter and the guitar player in a great band, hey, man, if I'm going to make it that way, that's going to be a good deal. And obviously it paid off in spades.
But what convinced you? How old were you when you made the decision, okay, I'll let this guy be the lead singer?
Oh, yeah. When I first got in the band, I was 23.
23?
Yeah, 23.
Up until then, you had been in other bands, and you were the guy, you were the front man.
Yeah.
So why did you make the decision all of a sudden to hook up with John and let him be the front man?
Well, like I said, I was just joining bands upon bands upon bands. Actually, when I met John, I had already had 2 record deals.
Right.
I was on Led Zeppelin's label Swan Song.
Right.
In a failed record deal there. And then I was on Capricorn Records with a guy by the name of Duke Williams and the Extremes.
Was that a solo deal, or in other words, you had a whole band that?
Yeah, there was a band, and I was an extreme in that band, so I wasn't the front man in that band particularly. Right. But all the other club bands I was in and all that stuff, you know what I mean?
When you were a young guy in Swan Song, which was Led Zeppelin's label, I remember that label. It was the coolest label ever. It even looked cool.
Oh yeah.
When they sign you, do you think that's it? I am now going to make it. I am going to be famous.
Absolutely.
And then when it doesn't happen, is that the biggest blow in the world to your head?
Absolutely. But you got to keep on going. It's like I made 3 records before I started my own independent label before I met John.
Did you graduate high school?
Yes, I did.
You did? Did you go to college?
I was in college, yeah. I went through 2 years of college.
Where'd you go to college?
Keene College.
And when you were in Keene College, you knew you wanted to be a musician?
Oh, I knew I wanted to be a musician all along.
Did your parents tell you, don't do this? This is a mistake?
They were very supportive.
And you were a guy who sat in his room and practiced guitar every day?
Yeah, I'm a self-taught guy. So the only way you can teach yourself a guitar is actually to bump into your own mistakes.
How do you teach yourself the guitar? I mean, do you listen to records and play along with them?
Exactly.
And you
emulate your heroes.
Do you think that you're a genius in that you taught yourself how to play guitar? I mean, to me, that would seem impossible to get to the level you're at to do that yourself.
I always had an ear for music, and I kind of learned backwards because I kind of could play by ear.
Yeah.
And then I kind of went to theory classes and stuff like that, and actually learned the musical end of it.
Were you popular in high school? I would imagine you were.
Yeah, I was. I was a jock, and I was in bands, and I was going to different towns.
You were? What were you? A football player?
No, I was a basketball player, baseball player. I played a little football, but I was getting my hand caught between helmets and ribs broken, and hell with that shit.
And when a guy's as good looking as you, you're popular, and you play guitar, are you getting laid at 12? Or
I got to tell you, man, it was pretty good, man.
It was.
Women like musicians, let's face it.
Were you getting laid at a very young age?
Not really.
16, 17?
17, yeah.
17
That's
years
pretty
old.
young, I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I bet you nailed a teacher or two, didn't you? Did you ever nail a teacher?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
Didn't have a teacher.
What's wrong with you?
I had friends that had some teachers.
Right.
Really?
And so you go to high school, And by high school, you're hooking up in bands, and you were signed to Swan Song by the time you were what age?
I was like 19 and a half.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I was playing, you know what? I was playing in New York, 4 or 5 times a week. I was doing Great Gildersleeves, CBGBs, privates, places like that were really happening in the city, you know?
In a way, you were blessed. I mean, most guys struggle a little more than even what you're talking about. I mean, the fact that you got signed so young to a label.
Yeah, but you know what? The record never came out, man. Zeppelin blew up. And that whole label, just took a shit, basically.
And the record that you produced with Swan Song never came out?
Never came out, yeah.
That had to break your heart.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I thought, here we go. We're going to the big time. Here it is,
Do you have that record somewhere? Do you have it?
It's somewhere, yeah. Actually, after I made it with Bon Jovi, my lead singer, was going through a bit of a hard time. He said, can I release it? And he needed the bread, so I just relinquished everything to him, and he just took the money.
Oh, that was nice.
Wow, what the hell,
And you felt, hey, now that I'm in Bon Jovi, it's okay to release that? Weren't you nervous that people would compare that record to Bon Jovi?
I was a kid, man.
You didn't care?
I didn't care at all.
So if you were having a lot of successes before Bon Jovi, what made you join up with John? Did you think that he was an extraordinary singer and he could do a better job singing than you could?
Well, no. You know what? I went to see him play at a club called the Fountain Casino. Remember that place?
No.
Right. It was right up the street from the Club Benet where you used to play.
Right.
Where I used to come see you play.
Right. No. Yeah, you used to play with me.
Yeah. You
right.
called me up a bunch of times. But, and I went and I saw him. And my bass player, Alec John Such, was actually playing with me at the time, and he was moonlighting with Johnny.
Right.
Because I got asked to join KISS, and I flew out to L.A.
You did?
Yeah.
Wait a second. When did that happen?
83.
83. This is before Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Those guys had heard your solo stuff.
I guess somebody, hipped them to me, and they were interested in having me come out, so I went to California for the first time.
Yeah.
And I ended up staying out there for 2 weeks and having a blast.
Wait a second. So how old are you at that point?
At that point, I'm about 22.
22 years old. KISS calls you. Was KISS already successful?
Oh, big time.
Big time. And so they needed...
I was going to replace Ace when they were looking for a guy.
And so did you get into the makeup and...
No. No. You know what? Honestly, I respect KISS a lot, but my music was more into a more blues-orientated kind of thing, more organic. I was into, like, Zeppelin and Hendrix and, guys that played guitar and actually emoted through the instrument.
So when they called you and said, join the band, were you open to it, or did you already...
Like I said, I was searching to get a leg up, and I was in, like, 5 bands at the same time.
But how could you turn down KISS? Here's a band that's making a ton of money. You hadn't really broken through. I imagine you didn't have a lot of money at that point.
Oh, definitely not.
When you turned down KISS?
Well, basically, I walked into the audition, and they were looking for a guy to, like, worship them.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
That's Gene.
I just wasn't that guy, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm like, come on, let's jam, let's do something. And they want to do, like, you better know Black Diamond. I go, I don't know. You know what I mean? I was like, can we just play so you guys can get a sense of what I'm doing? Because I'm sure I can play your music.
Right. And so did you...
They got upset.
You're kidding.
Yeah, they got a little upset.
That seems very professional to me to say, let's see if we can bond here. Let's see if
they got a little upset, but it was really funny because, like, fast forward a little bit.
Yeah.
Our first tour in Europe, we opened up for KISS.
Yeah.
And we laughed about it a lot.
Yeah. So you went there for 2 weeks. Gene, I guess, is the big ego. Who you're not sucking his balls enough. You're just being you're being Richie.
No, they were both pretty cool to me, but I think they were, like, taken aback that I wasn't, like, so into them, like I was just like...
But to think about that in your life, let's say Bon Jovi had never worked out, you would have been kicking yourself in the head the rest of your life, because joining KISS would have made you a multimillionaire. I mean, what you are now, and it all worked out. But it does take a lot of balls to turn down a band like KISS and not sit there and suck their ass a little bit and get in the band
and
make a fortune.
It didn't seem authentic to me for some reason.
That's beautiful.
But it's true, though. I swear to God, it just didn't seem
you. authentic
to me, man. I was like, as an artist, I was moving in a different direction already.
Yeah, wouldn't it have killed you to play music that you really didn't care about?
All the guys in your band right now are looking at you like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
They would have taken the KISS job.
They'd take the KISS job in 2 seconds. Like, man, you must be fucking maniac or something.
Let me at those balls.
So when you go out it was on KISS's dime, you go out there for 2 weeks?
Well, you know what happened? I was actually... I used to be jamming with Sylvester Stallone's brother, Frank.
Oh, my.
Sylvester Stallone's brother.
No kidding.
Frank. I used to, like, play with him so I was actually staying...
At Frank's?
I was, like, at Sly's house, actually.
Wow.
And he wasn't there.
Right.
He might not even know that, so he's going to kick my ass when he hears about it.
So do you tell girls, hey, this is my place, why don't you come on
right.
over?
I took his pictures down and put mine up.
And so you went out.
But yeah, no, I was having a good time with some California girls out there, and I picked up a couple sessions.
Right.
So I decided to stay out there for a couple weeks.
Right. When you say you picked up a couple of sessions, you mean you were a session musician. You would go out there, and people would pay you to sit in with a band or whatever.
Yeah. Guys I knew, kind of hooked me up with some people, and I was lucky enough to stay out there, make a little bit of money so I could actually stay out there and get home.
So when did you start taking guitar lessons? When you were in Bon Jovi?
No, I was. My first guitar lesson was actually I was 52 years old.
No kidding. And who can really teach you? I mean, there's a teacher say to you, "Look, Richie, what can I really teach you?
You're holding your hands the wrong way."
No, check this out.
Why would they fuck with what you do?
I walked into this my favorite vintage guitar shop in California, and this guy was playing with his back towards me, and he's playing acoustic guitar, but he sounds like two guys.
What was he playing? Tell me what he was playing at that point.
Just some piece, just acoustic piece.
Right.
But he sounded like two guys playing at the same time.
Right.
So I kind of walked around in front of him. I said, "What are you doing, man?
Yeah.
You got to teach me how to do this. This is like sick." I said, "I'll be back in 18 months. I'm going on tour, but when I come back, I'd love you to teach me." So he gave me his number. He happened to be a cat by the name of Lawrence Juber, who used to be in McCartney and Wings.
Right.
But he was also now the acoustic guitar player of the year.
Right.
And he was working with all these different alternative tunings. So I started to work on him with those. So, now there's always more you could learn. That's the great thing about music.
He wasn't opposed to teaching you and giving you his secrets, so to speak?
No, not at all. Because I think it was more of a give and take. I also was teaching him a little bit.
Right.
And he was teaching me.
When
but
you
honestly,
say guitar lesson,
it was something that was alien to me and I never did before.
But when you say guitar lesson, you have to pay him to teach you, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So what does a guy charge Richie Sambora for a guitar lesson? I mean,
Howard,
if I see you,
I don't even look. So it doesn't matter. I'm like this. Sign a check.
Mr. Sambora, that'll be $50,000 for
your
lesson.
It ain't like that,
Right.
He's a good guy.
So when you got into Bon Jovi, suddenly it's a new world for you. You're not the front man, you're not the lead singer. So now that you have an album out where you're singing lead, it feels good to you, right? You can show people what you can do.
It's it's a whole different energy. I give good band.
Right.
And I always was a team player.
Is this a band what I'm looking at? Are these guys in your band?
Yeah, these guys are the guys I made the record with and in my band, yeah.
Oh, no kidding. So in other words, this is not something where you just hired some musicians for the day where they're going to play with you.
No, the excellent thing about this record, it happened so organically, and from the writing process up, and when we took it in the studio, we sounded like a band immediately.
Right.
And we just started to roll. And that's why I left all the jamming pieces on this record. Because, now people can get a chance to hear. When we were kids, we were growing up with Zeppelin and Hendrix, and they were jamming on records.
Right.
The people would get to hear me play extended guitar solos.
Did you go to John and say, I'm doing a solo album, and did you say to the rest of the Bon Jovi band, look, I'm going to go do this thing? Do you have to get permission in a sense?
No, you just got to tell them. We've always been supportive of our individual endeavors.
What is going on with Bon Jovi? Are they together?
Dude. I've been a busy boy this year. Check this out.
Right.
At the end of this record, I started writing with John for the new Bon Jovi record. The new Bon Jovi record's done.
Oh, it's all finished.
It's all finished because now I'm going on tour for the next 3 months.
With Bon Jovi?
No, with this band.
Record.
Yeah, Richie Sambora Band.
And so
the Disgusting Rabbis.
When you, I love that name, by the way. When you
Cock and the Doodle Doos, man.
Is it hard for you to go on tour now with a new band because you're not playing to stadiums, you're not playing to bigger crowds like that? You have to play to guys, you're starting out in a sense, right?
No, I'm playing great theaters, man.
You are
all over the world. We put the shows on sale actually before the record came out in Europe.
Right.
And the tour sold out the first day in pre-sale.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
So, but it's not a stadium setup like when you play Bon Jovi.
No, we're just playing cool theaters.
But you enjoy that.
Absolutely.
No, that's great.
I don't take anything for granted. Obviously, every time you walk out in front of a stadium stage, it blows your mind. I don't care no matter how many times you do it. If you take it for granted, you'd be an asshole. Let's face it.
Do you think you are blessed? Like live a charmed life. Starting from high school, being an athlete, being able to play guitar, teaching yourself how to play guitar at a young age, getting into a super mega hit band like Bon Jovi.
Absolutely.
It's a blessed life,
right? And then
all
the women.
And then, my God.
Oh, you know what? It's funny. You go, I'm a kid from Woodbridge, New Jersey.
Right.
And yesterday I went to see the Giants. I took the guys to see the Giants, and we walk in Giant Stadium, and I'm looking around. I'm going, going, man, I sold this mofo out like 4 times.
Right. It still blows your mind.
It's
right?
heavy, It's heavy, It's like guys like us, like me and you, we actually did it.
Right. It's pretty amazing when you've accomplished that. You sometimes you pinch yourself because you know how many musicians who are great, like that guy from Wings who's teaching you, who haven't been able to break through and make it in the business.
There's that it factor.
And isn't it almost defeating to put out an album now because of the way the music business is? It's almost impossible to sell records because all music is exchanged for free almost. You're not going to make a lot of money with this record.
Oh, absolutely not. It's not. I didn't do this for the money, I mean, as an artist, you gotta keep fresh. You gotta do these things. So basically, it's like you excavate inside and bring out all this stuff. And this record is about a lot of my life experience.
And how do you decide which song's going to go on a Bon Jovi album, which is going to be a solo?
Oh, you know what? There's not even any choice. When I write a record for myself, I'm the mouthpiece. I'll write a different lyric than John's ever going to sing.
Is it nice to be able to write a song on your own without John's interference? I mean, I'm sure...
Is that what you call it?
What is the process when you and John write a song?
It's very, very simple. We sit down with an acoustic guitar and a piano and our 2 voices. We have a conversation about how we're feeling. There's a big, big commonality between John and I. We grew up.
Do you like each other?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Be honest.
I'm being honest.
I feel you don't. I feel like when I'm going to be honest with you, Richie.
No,
I've known you guys
Howard?
for a while.
We really do. It's an anomaly, really.
It is.
We get along. We've always got along. There was a little wonky period in the beginning of the 90s because we were, everybody experiences fame and fortune at different speeds.
Yes.
And, you add a little bit of lifestyle in there.
Right.
Which I was working pretty good,
Right.
It gets confused, and then we had to kind of put Humpty Dumpty back together.
What do you specifically mean? What happened? Was it because you got into trouble with drinking and stuff? And some of your new album deals with what some of your problems were, right? Like you don't make a secret about it.
Oh no, I think I set out to make an authentic record,
right?
Because I believe there's this stigma, obviously, that people go rock star. Bon Jovi, they're going to think Richie's, that kind of person.
Right.
And that's show business, man.
Yeah.
This record was an artistic record where I decided, it's like when you did your movie.
Yes.
You put all your stuff out there.
Right.
To people, man, and it felt good to you, right?
Yes.
And you know what? Now, with my record, that's exactly what I'm doing.
I mean, you wouldn't be the first rock star to have a problem with booze. I mean, everybody seems to go through some sort of drug-related thing, except for John, right?
Yeah. You know what? It's funny because I started out playing clubs when I was like 16 and a half.
Right.
And back then, it wasn't frowned upon.
What, to drink? No, it was encouraged.
Yeah, it was like an accoutrement to my business.
Right.
You know what I mean? So then all of a sudden, but I'll tell you what, it took me about 35 years for my demons to catch up with me. Yeah, so I'm a pretty resilient little bastard.
I never saw you as a guy who drank a lot and stuff, so you probably drank in private, right?
You know what? After a while, what happened was, I was definitely a kind of a guy that always drank in my house. Never drank. I didn't even drink in restaurants anymore.
Wow.
Or I didn't drink around the band or anywhere near a performance.
That's when you know you have a problem, when you drink it by yourself, right? When it's not a social thing.
I guess so.
What were you drinking? Wine?
Yeah, I was drinking wine, and you know what? It was predominantly a stress reliever.
Right, absolutely.
I was using it for a specific, different reason.
So when did you realize you had a problem? You had to go into rehab. When did you realize that?
It was about 5 years ago.
You said, hey, I'm doing this too much, and I'm doing it every night.
Yeah, when I started getting clean, it was about 5 years ago. But I was doing it every night for about 30 years. So
Did you have interventions? Did anybody, did the group get together and say, look, Richie?
Yeah, a lot of people kind of said, hey, man, But also what happened, I had broken my arm.
Right.
And I was doing painkillers because, check this out. So I break my arm in my house. I get divorced.
Drinking.
Right?
You got from Heather.
I got divorced from Heather.
Right.
Right? So I come home from one leg of the tour. I get into this new house. I've never been there before. My sister-in-law thinks she's doing me a solid. She puts this shitty Bed Bath & Beyond mat in the bathroom.
Right.
I wake up to take a piss one morning, and I just went, biffed. And my shoulder went right into the jacuzzi, and I broke my arm in 3 places.
Oh, my God.
2 weeks later, I have to play like 24 stadiums.
With a broken arm?
With a broken arm.
Wow.
So I hired all these sports stocks, therapists, this, that, and the other thing. I said, there was $145 million on the table for this tour.
Right.
I said I wasn't going to leave it out there. Whatever I had to do, I was going to do it. So the painkillers got in there, too.
Now, are you wearing a cast while you're...
You can. It's a shoulder.
Oh, it's a shoulder, right. You can't really do anything to that. So these guys teach you how to sort of hold the guitar so you don't completely
Well, you know
screw
what?
up.
I started going crazy. I started making these little guitars,
right?
Because I didn't have this kind of lateral motion. But so one of my heroes was Albert Collins, a blues guy,
right?
And he would hang his guitar off of this shoulder. And I found that I could play like this.
Oh, wow.
So, you know what? I was 95%. Nobody ever knew it, really.
And so and to get through the pain, you start taking what, like Oxycontin?
Yeah, I took a lot of shit just to get through that tour, and it lasted about 6 months. And I was drinking because of the pain and getting through it profusely.
And when you mix the drinking with the Oxycontin, that's a fucking powerful cocktail.
Very powerful
Nothing
cocktail.
better than that.
Oh, and you know what? If you ask me if I remember those months, I would say absolutely not. But,
wow.
But you know what? I was a hero, got through the tour, and just like, you know, all the other substance in my life, I figured this one would just fall off.
Right.
No such luck.
Yeah, no.
I was very, very naive to it, you know.
Were you like, hey, this Oxycontin is more addictive than anything ever?
Anything.
Like, in other words, you said, hey, now I'm done with the pain. I'll stop the Oxycontin. And then when you go to stop, it actually hurts.
Shaking like a leaf, man.
Wow.
And I'm an asshole. I think I got like Parkinson's.
It's never the stuff, right?
Couldn't be withdrawal.
You know what I mean?
Right. So
I'm
now,
all freaking out. I don't know what's going on.
So now do you have to go score Oxycontin? Like, because now you can no longer get it?
Doctor shopping?
No. You know,
all right.
You know what I did? I just detoxed. I went in, I checked in, and I just detoxed for like 7 days. I went right back on the road.
Is it almost impossible to do it on your own? Because Oxycontin, they say, is like hillbilly heroin. It's the most powerful.
Well, you know, I think you could do it, but you got to do it under the supervision because guys like our age can have a stroke.
Right.
If you just cut it off.
Was Limbaugh in detox with you?
He was right next door climbing the walls, yeah.
I heard a rumor that Lindsay Lohan was in rehab with you at one point. Did you bang her in rehab? Or no interest?
No. She was hot, man.
Oh, yeah?
She was hot.
She was hot.
Yeah, I talked to her for, you know, I hung with her a little bit.
but you didn't put the moves on her?
No, she's too young.
Too young for you?
Yeah.
What is your cutoff on age?
I try to, 10 years older than my daughter.
Oh, good, yeah.
That's always got to be.
Isn't that a good rule?
That's a good rule.
I think it's a good rule. I have to throw some back.
And speaking of your daughter, she's got some huge career going in modeling, right?
You know what? Actually, she just acted in her first movie.
Right.
This is 40 with Judd Apatow and Megan Fox.
And how did that go?
And she killed it.
You saw the movie?
I haven't seen it yet, but I talked to those guys. She killed it.
So she has a career.
And it was improv. I was like,
really?
And she's 14 and a half.
She's only 14?
14 and a half.
Oh, I thought
she looks like she's 20. Wait till I show you a picture.
Wow.
She's doing really, really great. I think
Does
she's
she look
about
like
to sign
Heather?
with...
Does she look like Heather, her mom?
Yeah, she definitely does.
Yeah, that's a good look.
Yeah.
That's a very good look.
I'm in trouble, man. She has my gregarious personality, and Heather's good looks. So.
Boy.
That's
a bad combination.
That's right. How are you going to keep that kid in line? I guess you can't.
You know what? All you can do is equip them with the tools to take care of themselves. Because you know when the minute they're out of your sight, they're acting up.
And so now you're clean and sober. Took you a couple of trips to rehab, right? Because when you get out, all of a sudden that OxyContin starts calling to you again. And the drinking, right?
No, you know what? That never even came back into play. I forgot about it very quickly.
Just drinking.
Yeah, it was a drinking thing.
Did you think that you could take a couple of drinks and then deal with it?
Of course, you're going to try it.
You always try that,
and it don't work.
It doesn't work.
No,
it increases. It never decreases.
You know what? It just doesn't work, man. Just doesn't work. So you know, I got to be honest with you. You know, I'm like healthier than I've been in my life.
You look really good. You do.
Thank you, brother.
You don't deserve to look this good with all the shit you've been doing.
Hey, we don't look our age,
He said he took his first guitar lesson at 52. I was like, well, how old are you?
Yeah, right.
Well, you know, the thing is, that keeps you young, too.
That's right.
Anytime you're learning something new and evolving like that, man, that just keeps you young.
Yeah, it does. So you're feeling good about a new record, and you're clean and sober, which is
he a
awesome.
teetotaler? He doesn't do anything.
You don't do anything now. Like if I go to dinner with you, you ordering a club soda?
I'm doing like Perrier and lime, non-alcoholic beer.
Oh, come on.
That's awful.
You'll have a few. We'll go out to dinner.
I was listening to your show the other day about the Jewish men and they got to start drinking.
Yeah. No. We'll go out to dinner. You could have a few glasses of wine. It'll be fine. Imagine that. I would not want to be with you if you started drinking again. Everyone would blame me.
No, you know what? And I was kind of a happy drunk anyway.
Right.
I just started to, my life choices at that point were starting to get kind of blurred.
So you think you're capable of never having another drink?
Oh, absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's done.
Howard, I drank enough for about 100 guys.
And did John ever come to you and say, listen, you got to stop drinking?
Yeah.
He laid that on you?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I had a lot of support.
Did you tell him to fuck off?
No.
You didn't?
No, I knew. Listen, I kind of knew I needed to dry out.
Wow.
And I didn't. I didn't know if it was going to be forever, but I knew I needed to just kind of just.
Good for you. So you're busy now. Are you worth $65 million personally? That's the figure I read on the internet, that you have $65 million.
Take a, give or take a few shekels.
That's nice, isn't it? That's really good.
But wait a minute. In the divorce, you don't lose a lot of money?
Hey, did Heather take you for a lot of money when you got divorced, or did you have a prenup?
Prenuptial.
Prenuptial. So you're safe. Thank God. Well, listen, Heather's got a lot of money.
She's got her own bread, man.
She's got money.
I was always drawn to, a lot of high-profile women, I think, because I think I really connect with people that are in the business and they understand what I do and I understand what they do.
Right.
And, that was one of those things.
So are you making a statement now that you mostly bang people in the business, like high-profile broads, right?
Not anymore.
Is that true? Is that like now you're...
No. Hey, look, I'm single now, man. It's all good.
So are you dating anybody right now? Are you out dating?
I'm kind of dabbling around. Nobody that's sticking. It's been such a busy year for me.
Right.
But I've never done 2 albums in one.
But you're not that busy. You can't get laid. I mean, come on.
Oh, you got to sneak that in there, bro.
Yeah. And Denise,
he's not sticking with one.
When Denise Richards came in here and she talks about you, she says you are a great lover. I mean, she was very highly complimentary. Like you really gave it to her. And that is a sexy woman.
She ain't so bad herself, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. She is a sexy fucking woman.
Yes, she is. She always has been.
My God.
It's very insatiable. And she's a good girl. She's a good woman.
She admits it. She says, I have to fuck like crazy. She loves it. She loves to fuck. I mean, guys, what are we talking about here?
Hey, nothing wrong with that, man.
Is she the sexiest woman you've ever been with?
Got to be up there.
Wow.
It's got to be up there.
So you guys got back together again, and now you recently broke up again.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Why? What happened?
Well, I think that we were basically going in different directions, unfortunately. Like I said, this has been the busiest time of my life, between doing my record, writing and recording and all that stuff for the Bon Jovi record, and being a single dad.
How does that work for you, being a single dad?
I love it so much.
You do? But doesn't the kids, don't the kids usually kind of go off with the mother more? It's like it's hard for you to...
No, her and I have a very, very great relationship. I don't know what happened to you when you got divorced from your kids, but when I got divorced, my relationship with my little girl got better.
Right.
Because, the time that she was spending with me, she was spending with me.
Right. And you got to do stuff on your own. Oh, yeah, there you go. There's a picture of the two of you guys. Look at that. Very nice.
Oh. Yeah, there we go.
Look at you. And so you say things got better. And are you still friends with Heather? Like, can you go over there? I read that you actually go over there and have Thanksgiving and all these holidays.
Absolutely.
With Heather. You can.
Oh, yeah, no, we just, at first it was, anytime you get divorced at first, there's that, kind of period where you're like, you don't like each other.
Right.
Because you're fighting about finances and this and that and the other thing, blah, 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 blah.
Who's going to pay for this and who's going to...
Little hangover on that thing goes on, you know.
Right.
But, no, Heather and I, knock on wood, are really great friends now. Ava and Heather and I went to a wedding together about 3 weeks ago.
That's fantastic.
We text each other. Heather's working again.
What is she
doing really
doing?
well. Actually, she texted me yesterday, and she's doing a thing on Scary Movie 5.
Oh, no kidding.
Where she plays the mom of the Black Swan, and it's funny as shit, man.
Have you ever gotten to the point, post-divorce, that you've had sex with Heather again since the divorce? Would the two of you ever go back there once in a while?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
It can't happen.
Can't
I don't
cross
think so.
that line, huh?
We can't cross
Too much
that line.
water under the bridge, baby.
Too much.
Yeah.
Like, there's never been a night you're all hanging out, it feels good, your daughter's, hanging out, the kid goes to sleep or goes out with her friends.
You forget you're not married
and all of a sudden
anymore.
you go, what the fuck?
Let's just go to bed.
You're Heather Locklear, I'm Richie Sambora. Why not?
I can't say the thought hasn't crossed my mind.
Right, why
but
not?
No, you know what? I think, you got to leave what's in the past, and, you don't want to start churning up that thing again, man.
I heard what came between you and Denise was that she was still in touch with Charlie Sheen, and Charlie's a big pain in the fucking ass, and you had said, look, man, I can't be with the chick if she's going to hang out with Charlie, because it's too fucking crazy, that whole scene.
Nah.
True or false?
False.
Really? You know
Absolutely
Charlie
false.
at all?
Absolutely. Charlie and I are friends, man.
Oh, you are?
And we've always been friends. Me and him used to hang out in the old days when we both were crazy.
Right. Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
You can
man,
hang with
he
Charlie
scared the
Sheen?
hell out of me, man. I used to have to leave sometimes.
You weren't that crazy.
I wasn't as crazy as him, yeah.
He's crazy.
Yeah, but you know what? He's a really good guy in a good way.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you hang out with him, He's a real man's man. You talk about sports, you know, you hang out.
Were you ever in the home when he has all these women and the parties and the hookers and the goddesses?
You know, I never was. I always used to go out with him. I would meet him somewhere. We'd go to some parties, you know, go out to dinner, things like that.
You two must have been up to fucking shenanigans.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Unbelievable.
Like the kind of shenanigans we did, you know, in the old days too.
Yeah, well,
me and you.
I never had shenanigans like that. I mean, you know, what did I do? Nothing. Do you think Kiss is upset when they're listening this morning and they're going, man, we should have taken...
No, I think they're quite well off.
Yeah. Don't you
They got more money than me, bro.
Would you say that...
Like a lot more money.
Well, yeah, because they charge... They build caskets. Is there ever going to be a Bon Jovi casket?
I mean, doubt that.
When you...
I mean, I'm a whore, but not that big.
They are the real whores of the business, right? It's unbelievably... They're not ashamed at all of taking every dime.
Oh, no, they're shameless, man.
Sometimes you have to say to yourself, hey, I'll pass up on some merchandising, right?
Exactly.
You have to. But think of the arguments you would have gotten into with those guys had you joined Kiss. What a different life it would have been.
Oh, yeah. Incredible.
Yeah, remarkable. But let's get to the new single. So this is very personal, this song to you. What song are you going to be doing for us?
Here's a song called Every Road Leads Home, and it seems to be the impact track that everybody is kind of going towards these days.
Right.
But interestingly enough, you know, I decided to go with an independent label.
Okay.
Which is interesting because the business is changing, obviously. You know, obviously, social media and downloading is really what's going on.
Right.
And I also wanted to make the record I wanted to make artistically.
Right.
And, you know, obviously there's going to be a commerciality in it, but there's a lot of jamming in this. So you're getting the acoustic version of this stuff, but people are reacting to this track.
Now, some have interpreted this track, Every Road Leads Home. Home being Denise Richards' vagina.
Oh, my God.
That's true, Robbie. Am I right, Richie, on that? Or is that a misconception?
It was actually, it's actually me being on the road coming home to my daughter, actually.
Oh, how boring.
Yeah.
I thought it was about Denise.
You know.
You got to tell me what she's like in bed.
She's lovely.
She talks up such a good fucking story here.
What are you going to do, man? I mean, you know, she's hot.
And she's a freak. She describes, she's blowing her, you know, she describes the whole thing. She loves anal. She loves anal, she told me.
I just work here.
I know. Are you into anal? I mean, giving it. All right. So this song that Richie's going to do. Giving, of course.
Yes.
All right. It hurts when they receive.
Oh, my God.
I mean, if you would write a song about how you manage to last when you're in bed with Denise Richards and I can blow off right in 2 seconds, I would listen to that song. That's another song you should write. All right. Listen, Richie, so this song...
Next time, before I write a song, Howard, I'm going to consult you first.
Please do. So here's the song. Let's listen and see if we can understand what Richie's trying to say to us in this song.
Yeah, no problem. It's called Every Road Leads Home to You. All right. Dudes.
Here we go.
on the pedal as I'm counting the lines. Every road leads home to you. Every road leads home to you. Home to you. Home to you. Every road leads 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 home to you.
I love that. Beautiful song.
Thought that was beautiful.
Beautiful.
I know.
Right?
Pretty good song, hey?
Real good song.
I liked it.
I'm telling you, man. Thank you, Robin.
I loved it. I loved it. Did you play that for your daughter?
Oh, yeah.
And did you say, honey, this is about you, or you're just on saying
Absolutely.
it?
She loved it.
She loved it. That's a beautiful thing for a father to write to his daughter, especially a divorced father, because Heather can't write a song for her. And you say, look, daddy's better than mommy,
Guess
right?
what?
Well, you know, hey, there's that, you know, there's the thing between a father and a daughter, man.
Right, it's very special.
That's just a little deeper, right?
Yeah, that's great, I tell you.
But you know what? The thing about the song,
I mean, what does Heather do? Heather goes out and buys her a sweater. You write a song for her. You know what I'm saying? I love that song. I love
the
it.
thing about this song, you know, it's like this whole album is interesting, you know, because I write stuff about me and what's happening in my life,
Right.
and I realize that it's everybody's stuff.
That's
It's actually
right.
universal. I mean, I think I've always been good about that, and I've always been good like that. I mean, even living on a prayer. Like I
Right.
said, you know, it kind of
It's
was
about
about us
people's-
struggling,
Right.
doing our thing, getting out of New Jersey and trying to make ends meet. But it became everybody's song, and I think that a lot of this record, I think people are going to relate to a lot because it's an authentic human record, and it's got a lot of fire to it. And if you listen to the lyrics, I think they're good stories.
Is there anybody you like out there now? Any young kids coming up, or are you just totally disillusioned with?
Man,
what,
you know, no. Being from an independent label, man, I listen to a lot of new stuff that's really obscure, like in Silver Sun Pickups and Fits into Tantrums, and
you
My
like
Morning Jacket is really good. I was listening to.
You still walk around and you put on headphones and listen to music and try to sort of see what everyone's up to.
Oh, you know, I am a avid record buyer. I buy at least 3 records a week.
Who's your favorite guitar player? Who is your hero, guitar-wise?
I had a bunch, man. I had, you know, Jimmy Page, Jimi Hendrix.
Right.
All the classics. Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, who played on my first solo album.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah, that's pretty amazing,
Jimmy has come up, and I became like friends with my heroes, man. I hang out with Jimmy Page now. It's like serious.
Do you? Where do you hang out at his castle?
In London, man. He's got an apartment in London.
And you hang out?
What's that like?
Are you tongue-tied around this guy? Like, I mean,
you know, he makes it so you're not. He's such a gent.
Do you go over there and play guitars, or do you
sometimes?
just...
Yeah, I was going to say, what do you talk about?
He came up and jammed with me a couple times, and I'm actually going to come ask him if he wants to come to London and play.
Does he have 3D TV? He must, right? I mean,
you know what we do when we hang out?
Yeah, what do you do? Because
we go to concerts,
right,
and go out to dinner. Just the two of us.
And do people freak out when you guys show up together?
It's kind of cool, man. Chicks are flying around, I'll tell you that.
Is he still getting laid? I mean, is he doing his thing?
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. He's a stud. He looks great. He's feeling great.
Jimmy Page, man. Look at you hanging out with this
heavy?
guy. I never think, who the hell does Jimmy Page hang out with? I never knew it was you.
Is that with Richie?
Yeah, man.
I'm not good at hanging out with people.
You were good at hanging out with me when we were when I was living in New York. We had a good time.
Like we take me over to Jimmy Page's apartment. Let's see what goes down. I'll fuck with that guy.
Listen to music, play a little guitar. You know what I mean? Just you know, that's.
Well, what are you going to do while they're listening to music and play guitar?
I'm get one of those drums. What was that called again?
Cajon.
A cajon. I'm going to get a cajon now.
Okay.
I love that. It sounded great, by the way. You guys sound great together. Look, I could talk to you all day, but I'll let you out of here. Richie Sambora's new album, Aftermath of the Lowdown. I don't know what that means. It doesn't matter, really.
You want me to tell you?
What does it mean?
Okay. When you give somebody the lowdown, that's like giving somebody the truth.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what I did on this record about my life and what was going on. There's always an aftermath. It may be good, it may be bad.
So good to have you guys here today.
Brother.
Thank you for playing. And Richie, great seeing you. Known you so many years, and I'm very happy
Too
for
many
you.
years.
Yeah.
It won't be so long again, Howard.
All right, good. Don't be a stranger.
That's right. It's been a long time.
Next time I see you, be at Jimmy Page's place. We're all going over there for the big party.
Man. Hey, why don't you guys put me on America Got Talent? I'd love to play.
Would you?
Yeah.
The fucking show's over, but next season.
Bad, man.
I
know they had Green Day had a bunch of cool people on there.
Yeah. Where were you? Who knew?
I don't know. Where was I?
Do you ever go over John's house for those Obama get-togethers or those fundraisers?
I haven't been yet. No.
With Al Gore.
I haven't been over there. You haven't gotten political yet?
Well, you know, I campaigned for Clinton.
Yeah.
And I campaigned for Al.
Right.
And, you know, John's got the Obama thing kind of locked up. When he wants me to play, I'll probably go.
Right. You'll be there.
Absolutely.
All right. Listen, boys, thank you for doing this today. Very special morning because of your music.
Yeah.
Thank you. I could have done another hour with you guys. That sounded good.
Sounded really good.
Really good.
Thank you. So great to see you.
You look great.
Dude.
You sounded great.
Oh, bro.
That's a really good song.
Hey, can I turn you on to a record?
Yeah.
If you want to come see me play, I'm playing October 23rd
All right, I'm
at
going to try and come by.
Best Buy.
Oh, okay,
Please
great.
be my guest.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Bring your old lady, bring your kids.
All right,
bring
great.
everyone.
I'd love to do that.
All right?
Yeah.
I'm going to get you a record, though.
All right, please.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
It's a pleasure, brother.
Richie, can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah, man.
I heard you say in the studio just now during the break, you guys have known each other for 30 years.
Yeah.
So you go that far back with
Howard and I go that far back. He was doing drive time, 5 o'clock drive time radio, man. And this is 1986 is the first time I was on the show.
Wow.
So it's like, 27 years or something.
What's been the constant about what you've appreciated about Howard for so many decades?
You know what? Obviously, he's always exciting. You never know what he's going to pull out, but that's what I like, I mean, and I think that, he's really about rock and roll. And I live rock and roll, so there's a lot of commonality. So we always have a good time. And actually, when I was living in New York, Howard and I would actually get together and go out to dinner sometime with our spouses, and we always had a great time. So I think we became friends after a while also.
Different professions, but you share the same spirit.
We share the same spirit, for sure.
All right, good luck with the new album, Richie.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
All right, man.
Now that we've had some distance from the America's Got Talent experience, the boys...
Really? There's distance?
Yeah, of course. There's at least a few days. Now that we have distance from the America's Got Talent thing, Sal and Richard went out on the street to ask old ladies and anybody else he could find what they, he kind of tried to ID people who look like they might hate me.
Uh-huh. He can tell by
Well, yeah, you
looking.
can tell. You can look at somebody and know if they like me or not. Can't you, kind of? I mean, let's face it. We can profile Howard Stern fans. So he wanted to see if I had won anyone over.
How did you think Howard Stern did this year on America's Got Talent as a judge?
I was surprised that he was pretty good.
Did he win you over?
No. I don't care for Howard.
Would you like to see him come back next year, or would you like to see him replaced?
Replace him with an entertainer.
So he didn't win you over at all?
No.
Hey, I'm an entertainer. I mean, maybe
she
you
did say you were pretty good.
Yeah, but she didn't like me anyway.
You can't have the job because she doesn't like you.
She didn't like anybody, I think, if I remember this one correctly.
No.
Not one bit.
No, not really.
But you still think you did good, though?
Yeah, you did good, but it's time for somebody else.
Good, but not good enough?
Yeah.
Your opinion? How do you think Howard did this year as a judge?
I was quite surprised, and I really enjoyed him. I did enjoy him. It's fine if he comes back.
Who do you think is a better judge on TV, Howard Stern or Britney Spears?
Oh, I'll go with Howard. I don't like Britney either.
I would say they're kind of equal. They were both crazy, so now they're both coming around.
How about Howard Stern or
Oh, my
Simon
God.
Cowell? Who do you think would be a better judge?
I'll take Simon because he's obnoxious.
I kind of like Howard over Simon, yes.
How about Howard Stern or Judge Judy?
Oh, please. That big mouth. Forget it.
Which one?
Judge Judy. I used to like. I don't like her anymore.
So you think Howard's a better judge than Judge Judy?
Yeah, I'll take Howard over her.
Howard over Judge Judy, absolutely.
And Howard or Paula Abdul, who's the better judge to you?
I'll take Howard. She's annoying.
Howard, I like Paula, but I think it's just time to move on to someone that's a little bit more opinionated. She's very emotional.
Now, you know, Sharon...
Not bad, though. I mean, I got that
You're
one
doing
lady.
all right.
I'm doing all right. I'm hanging in there with the ladies. That one lady's really, she just doesn't like anybody so far. That first one.
Yeah.
Osborne is leaving America's Got Talent. Who do you think should replace her next year?
Oh, Pink?
Betty White's great. Betty White would make the
Oh,
show.
no.
Oh.
Betty White. She could die sitting there next to me. Betty White. How come on all these other shows you get to sit next to, like
Nicole Scherzinger.
Yeah, let me sit next to Nicole Scherzinger if they're going to replace Sharon. Let me take a look at that. I don't know. They asked a bunch of people.
What do you think of Howard Stern, how he did as a judge on America's Got Talent this year?
He's wild. He's still wild. He's
No.
good. He's good.
Who do you think will be a better judge, Howard or Britney Spears on The X Factor?
Howard,
Why?
because I don't like her.
What about her?
I don't think she has any talent.
What about Howard or Simon Cowell?
Oh, he's nasty. Simon Coward is sort of kind of nasty, so Howard is a little nasty too, but okay. I would prefer Howard. Yes.
You see?
Even to Simon, huh?
Even to Simon himself. I'm moving up there. Maybe it's a good time to leave America's Got Talent. I don't think I could,
Go out on top.
go out on top. You should see me at home wrestling with myself as I try to make my decision.
Really?
Yeah, well,
What are you doing? Have you made a list of the pros and the cons?
Well, I kept a folder all year of, everything. Really, I did.
Uh-huh.
Like the schedules and everything, so I could look at it and review it as I make my decision.
You just can't feel whether you enjoyed it and want to continue.
Can I tell you what I'm feeling?
Okay.
All right, I can feel. The way I'm looking at it is... I don't need a drum, but okay, if you want. The way I'm looking at it is I enjoyed the show. I liked being on a network television show. I like doing something different out of my comfort zone. The actual working with Howie, Sharon, and Nick, I liked. I like the idea of the show itself. You know that. I'm a fan of the show. I like all the variety rather than just the singing.
Uh-huh.
But the singing's cool, too. And so all of that was pretty cool. I like that. And what I didn't like is that, I had sort of reorganized our schedules so that we could have more time off. And even our listeners were saying, hey, you take too much time off. But meanwhile, I didn't feel like I had any time off. Because every single vacation we had, I went to work. But I was working on America's Got Talent.
Well, I think it's interesting that you took extra work and are shocked that it meant eating into your time off.
Well, I knew that, but I didn't think it would be that much time because they had convinced me that it was only 30 days of work. But that's not true because it's like you got to get to these places. There's a whole buildup. You got to be here. It's not like the day I would do America's Got Talent, I had to go run around. Like I didn't get to go have a normal day. I would sit around and
wait for America's Got Talent.
Yeah, and you didn't want to do too much because you got to be on your game, the whole thing. So that's the part I don't like, our schedule, because if we weren't on in the morning, it'd be one thing. But I was up at 4 a.m, and if I had to go do a taping tonight or something, it wrecks me. So that's where I'm at. But then I keep thinking to myself, well, you know what? I built something this year. I started with the show, built a following with it. How can I leave now?
And wasn't it fun?
It was. I mean, some days it was. And some days it was like kind of a drag. But, but mostly fun.
You always look like you were having fun.
Well, hey, that's my gift. I look like the life of the party.
Mr. Mundt.
Yes.
Aside from Beth, many would argue that you spend the most time by Howard's side.
At AGT?
Well, in general, between the show and now after his first year in AGT. I mean, you were with him every step of the way, pretty much. Having this type of inside access, knowledge, conversation, what's your prediction for another season, for a return to America's Got Talent? What do you think is going to happen?
It's hard to say because the schedule was pretty grueling.
Right, and no one
for him.
Right, and you see that firsthand every day, every morning.
Yeah, and the mornings that he come to the radio station, the weeks that we had to go away and travel for auditions to different cities. It was a lot. It was a lot on him. It was a lot on everybody who was involved. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to be, and I'm sure it's not all about whether the scheduling is. I'm sure it's got to do with all kinds of different things, whether he goes back or not. It's just not one thing to decide whether he goes back or not, I'm sure.
But on the grueling schedule factor alone, what does that tell you in your mind? If you had a gun to your head.
Well, I know he loves doing it. I know he loves being the judge thing. And, I don't know. I would say if I was to be asked percentage-wise, I would say 75-25 that he's going to do it.
Thank you, Mr. Mundt. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Seriously, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Gary, I just spoke with Ronnie Mund about the possibility of Howard returning for a second season of America's Got Talent. Other than him, I mean, you spend the most time with Howard and you see the effects of this show and the toll it takes on him the most. What's your prediction?
I'm on the fence. Not that being politically correct. It's just, I saw him be very tired at the end of the season. If it were in the middle of the season, I would have said, yeah, I'll probably resign for another year. By the end, he seemed exhausted, and I know he enjoyed himself, but I also think he might have wondered whether it was worth it or not.
If you had to quantify it, in a percentage, would you say 50-50?
50-50.
I think we're going to be speaking to Bam Margera in about 5 minutes.
About his home invasion?
Yeah, his home got invaded, and some chick started making out with him in his sleep, and then started
naked. She was naked.
Naked, and then fingering herself on the floor. But he called the police.
While he called the police, that turned her on. He's calling 911. Oh my God, I have to touch myself.
She masturbated while he called police. Robin's right. He turned her on with that. Oh, wait, here's Bam. We got to hear what's happening.
All right.
It's crazy, huh, Bam?
What up? I've seen a lot of bizarre things before, but this by far tops it big time, and I honestly never thought I'd be so scared of like a 24-year-old naked chick in my room.
Wow.
You know what's crazy, too, because I was thinking about you, because you're on Jackass, and I've seen you do outrageous things. I mean, like, you guys will, smack each other in the head, you'll beat each other, you'll break bones, and the one thing that freaked you out was this naked chick.
Well, I mean, the thing is that, first of all, she wasn't forming any sentences right. Like, she wasn't making any sense at all, and like she was saying things like, the owl sent me from Jupiter when I asked who she was.
And you don't think that's hot?
I thought that she was capable of getting a knife from the kitchen and either stabbing me or my girlfriend.
Do you think someone from Jackass was playing a prank on you? Like, did that thought occur to you that maybe the guy set this up?
Where's the camera?
Actually, for one split second, I thought it was my friend named David Lee Homo, he does appearances for me, and he was staying at my house at the time. So I thought that it was him playing a prank, like laying naked in my bed, like as a joke. But
yeah, because you know a lot of guys. Like, who was that guy you used to hang around with? The really crazy
Novak.
Yeah. Like you hang around with such crazy, wild people, and you need to for your business. But like, I wouldn't trust anything that was going on. I would think everything was weird. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I woke up to someone like kissing me on the lips and on the neck, and I thought it was my girlfriend. So I'm like, yo, quit it, man, I'm sleeping. Like, we'll do that later. And then I see that she's dead asleep looking the other way. And I see this silhouette of this girl. And then
do you think if your girlfriend wasn't with you, would you maybe banged her?
Well, I mean, like, she's not a bad-looking girl. Like, she's in shape, but I mean, like, she's been homeless and stuff, so she looks like she had like really hairy armpits and like this minging-ass pussy.
Did she smell?
Actually, yeah, I could. And when I turned on the light, she said that you know, the owl sent me from Jupiter, and that sentence right there was like, what, 911 right now? Like,
when you say she wasn't bad looking, like, give me an example. Was she like, who'd she look like?
She looked like a hippie girl that in shape. She had no boobs. And you know, she looked kind of like a skater girl, you know, like one that didn't bathe too often.
Did she look like what's that singer's name? When you say skater girl, who's the girl who wrote
Avril Lavigne?
Avril Lavigne? Did she look like Avril Lavigne?
Oh no, she's drop dead gorgeous now, but
yeah, because if it was Avril Lavigne, I'd bang her. I don't care if she has a what did you call her, pussy?
The owl from Jupiter would have been fine. A fine sentence.
Is that what she said? An owl from Jupiter sent me.
Yeah, and then
There's no owls on Jupiter, Robin.
And another thing is that when she was kissing me on the lips, the very next day I get this minging-ass cold sore on my lip. So I'm like, this bitch just gave me fucking herpes, or else I have a major stress blister from all this.
No, that sounds like she gave you something. All right, so let's take me through this. This girl, you would never had you been contacted by her before?
I knew of this girl who came from Florida somewhere, who left her husband to come. She knocked on my mom's door from like with all of her bags packed and said, "I'm here to marry Bam and move in."
Yeah, that's all you need is another wife. You just got rid of one.
Well, my mom was like, "Oh, well, at the moment he's a little busy in that category." That happened like almost a year ago, and then
right.
So my mom called the cops, and they took her to a homeless shelter because she had nowhere to go.
Right.
And then so people around Westchester see her walking around, and she's pretty much known as Bam's Florida stalker.
Right.
You know, so I never knew what she looked like. I just heard the stories.
Are you allowed to call the police at that point? I guess not, because she really hasn't done anything wrong.
Yeah, at that point, yeah. But so my girlfriend takes her down as I'm on the phone with 911, and she's telling her all kinds of complete nonsense, like nothing that she said made any sense. She would say, like, my parents invented goats and trailers. And then,
but wait a second. So the woman had been around town for like a year. She'd even gone to your mom's house. You put her in a homeless shelter, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So, like, how did she, like, so she must have broken into your house that night.
Yeah.
And like, you don't have any kind of alarm or anything like that. You don't live that lifestyle.
Well, I have 9 camera angles, but I mean, like, I have 14 acres and the whole place is fenced off. It's a 10-foot fence that you have to, like, climb. It's, you know, it's hard to do, especially when you're naked, you know?
Right. How did she get in? Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, you have videotape. How did she get in?
I believe there's one part of the property where you can walk through the woods, but it's all marsh, so you're up to like a foot of mud if you want to do it that way, and it's pitch black. You can't see anything. Like, even I wouldn't be able to figure it out, and I live here.
I mean, this is a weird question, but is there any chance this girl would make a good judge on America's Got Talent if Sharon leaves? Because she sounds great. So wait, so you're saying somehow she negotiated the woods in the nude because did your cameras pick up the fact that she was nude when she broke in?
Actually, the guy who knows the password to check the footage is on a vacation, and I can't get a hold of him to look at it yet.
Yeah, we got to get a hold of that.
Yeah, we got to find out how she got in.
And will you release that video when you get it?
Yeah, and so when she figured out that I called the cops, 10 police officers, state troopers show up, and she's still rambling on about like the Agonists from Montreal, which is a pretty good death metal band that I like sent me from Galaxy 5000, like just making up anything. And so when she saw the police cars coming in, she just ran into the woods naked, and she absolutely had no clothes. And apparently people from Westchester who see her walking around know that she has a BMX bike. So I think that she drove from Westchester, which is 7 miles naked, to get here.
How do you know she didn't like have clothes on and then get naked when she got in your house?
Yeah, she might have walked through the mud.
We tore this place apart, and we couldn't find anything, and she didn't even know where her clothes was. She, like, either she's completely mentally ill or she was on like loads of acid or something.
Well, let me get this straight. So, okay, so that night, so she somehow gets in. And by the way, who's your new girlfriend? Is she super hot like the ex-wife?
Ex-wife, yeah.
Yeah, big time. She's from San Francisco. Yeah, she looks like Angelina Jolie, but she's in the itty-bitty titty committee. She has no boobs.
Your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you got to bring her in here one time.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, we need to look her over if she looks like Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
That's hot. So where'd you meet that one?
Actually at a CKY concert in Petaluma, which is right near San Francisco, and she was in like the front row, and we kept making eye contact. So finally, I just brought her up there, and then we just connected real well, and then been keeping in touch ever since. But
how old a girl is this?
She's 26.
Perfect. Nice.
Yeah.
So okay,
27 now.
You moved her in, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Why not?
So.
Oh, there she is. Yeah, she does look like Angelina Jolie.
Oh my goodness, she absolutely does.
Yeah, a little bit Mila Kunis too.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, hey man, that's fine. I'd move her right in too. How long did it take you to make that decision to move her in?
Well, we would see each other on and off when I would fly to L.A. to film Jackass or something like that. But you know, after a little while, it's just like, all right, you're moving in.
Yeah, you don't want to leave her laying around somewhere. You know what I mean? So anyway, so she's asleep. You're laying in bed. Suddenly, you feel someone making out with you. You think it's your girlfriend. This broad kisses you, and meanwhile, just from one kiss, you're saying you got a cold sore. That's unfucking believable.
Yeah, like.
Who knows how long she was kissing you? Because you know she might have been.
And who knows how long she was standing there staring at it.
Right. Oh, it's so creepy.
That's creepy. Yeah.
Oh my God. And so then when you finally stirred, you realized it wasn't your girlfriend because you looked over and you saw your girlfriend sleeping.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my. I mean, your heart's got to be pounding a mile a minute.
Yeah, it's like especially when it's like dark and you can't really see. Like all I could see is a silhouette of a naked chick that I never recognized before.
Wow.
And it gets even better because you know, I said she's known as the Florida Stalker. Well, a few of my friends do a radio show at a bar in town that she happened to show up to at the time. So they're like, we want to interview you right now. And this was about 2 to 3 months ago. And they say, so you came here from Florida to marry Bam, and where are you even living right now? And she said, I live in a tree fort, you know, and they just thought she was nuts. Well,
tree fort.
Well, when the police came here, they searched my entire property for almost 7 hours, and like finally they find her in my treetop casino. So she did this interview 3 months ago, which means she's been fucking living at my house without anybody knowing it.
What's a treetop casino?
It's well, for Viva La Band, we did this episode where we built this tree fort in the woods. So I hardly ever go down there.
Right.
And nobody really does. But she's been sneaking in and living there.
But you call it the Tree Fort Casino because what, you guys would play cards and stuff there?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, cool. I'd like to build one of those, actually.
And never go to it.
Yeah,
Never,
yeah. I mean,
a naked woman living in it.
No naked women in my Tree Fort Casino. But you know, like every guy's probably thinking, hey, that's kind of cool, but it's not, man, because that's scary. I mean, she could have cut your dick off or something.
You don't know what she could have done.
Yeah, I mean, the most bizarre thing was just the fact that, you know, she's not, her sentences aren't making it, you know, she would just say words. It was scary.
So do you think that, so she's in police custody right now, right?
Yeah, and you know, I feel bad for her because, you know, like they gave her like sexual assault charges, stalking, trespassing, breaking and entering, robbery, like all this. Well, how can you rob anything if your butt ass naked? But they pretty much gave her.
Yeah, but dude, you got it. Listen, don't say you feel bad for her because this is a chick who's not going to give up. That's number one. Like, look at Letterman. He used to have some situation like that. That chick was not giving up under any circumstance. If what the cops are trying to do is make enough charges, because, you know, in our system, the cops charge you with a bunch of stuff, and then it gets all knocked down. So you want her to be in jail for a while, at least just to fucking straighten her out a little.
Yeah, have her sentences straightened out?
Like, to get help. Like, I'd rather just have her get help. Like,
who's going to help her? Dr.
There may
Phil?
not be any help.
I don't want to press charges or anything.
No,
I just
dude.
want her to get help or leave me alone or something.
Dude, listen to me. Listen to me, Bam. You respect me, right?
Yeah, big time.
Okay. You've got to press charges. You have got to. Listen to me. If you don't, then this chick's going to be out.
Yeah.
You've got to, man.
And she'll be back at the tree fort.
I mean, as crazy as your life is and how, you know, like you're one of those guys like, hey, man, everything's cool. This isn't cool.
And the scariest thing is that now that I figured out that she's been living on my property for 3 months. You know how many times I'd be like alone at 3 a.m. in my kitchen, like jerking off to internet porn? You know, like she could have been peeking in the window.
Of course she was peeking in the window. She's got video of you jerking off.
Have her sentences straightened out since she's been, you know, in jail for a little while.
Yeah, what's the report? Like, is she starting to talk normal, or is she still?
You know what? I don't think she ever really talks normal, because even when she did that interview 3 months ago, she still wasn't making sense. That's what
I'm talking about.
That's why when she said, I live at a tree fort, they just thought it was another nuts thing that she was saying.
Right.
Was there ever any point where you were like going to go, hey, let's do a threesome? Like did you, you know what I mean? Like, here's a naked chick and your hot girlfriend standing there. And
I mean, just the fact that we didn't know who she was, you know, that probably wouldn't have flew. But
right.
If it was a good friend, you know, that we knew all about her, I guess it might be a possibility. But
no, you got to press charges. I'm telling you, Bam, it's that's dangerous stuff. Like, I know
you may not want to.
I know it's funny, and she's a naked hot chick and all that stuff, but
and like I'm terrified. I was so scared that like I had to go to my neighbor Cresta's house to like hide and shit.
Right. I mean,
I'm hiding at my own house because I'm terrified of where she is. The police looked everywhere and just simply couldn't find her. And I guess she found some like little, because they looked in the tree fort and couldn't find anything. And then finally, when they double checked, you know, I guess she was covered in blankets or something.
Oh, up in the tree fort.
Yeah, and that thing is so like rotten at the moment that like there's not even stairs to get up there. So she has to go on my mini ramp and scale a 2x4 that's about 15 feet long and 10 feet high.
No wonder she's in such good shape. Look what she's doing.
Yeah.
And I like Bam's house. It's like my mini fort, my mini ramp, my tree fort. I mean, it's like a 5-year-old's house. It's cool.
No, it's the Neverland Ranch without the kids.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like she had to climb up my mini ramp to get to my tree fort.
She scaled a 2x4 to the mini ramp.
It's so great. Did the other Jackass guys call you to just say, "Hey, are you okay?"
Yeah, I mean, I got just tons of text messages, just when I think that your life can't get any crazier, or something like that.
Hey, was that your hot new girlfriend I heard in the background?
Yeah, she's here.
Yeah? Should I say hello to her, you think? Are you going to stick with this one?
Yeah. Yeah, hold on. I'll pass her on over.
What's she wearing?
Okay, what's she wearing? She's pretty much, well, she's been sleeping, but she knew I was going to be on here, so she's all out of it right now.
She naked?
She's in, boy shorts.
And that's it?
Yeah, and then her shirt, but like I said, she's in the Itty Bitty Titty Committee, so.
Does that bother you? Do you want a chick with big tits?
No, I just like the busted balls, but no, her personality and.
I might break into your house just to get to her.
If you wake up and there's a naked Howard Stern.
Yeah, if you see me nude and uttering words. I like that the crazy chick goes. It's an owl from Jupiter sent me. That's so original.
Yeah, she is pretty creative, I guess, because I never heard any kind of sentences that she was coming out with.
Is there any part of you that wants to incorporate her into the next Jackass movie? Like
maybe she'd be the first chick to be in Jackass.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes professionally you go, Yeah, I know she's insane, but maybe we put that in.
So are we.
Yeah, we're insane. She's insane. It'll be great.
We would probably have to have a team of security next to her because nobody knows what she's capable of doing.
Yeah, she's the real jackass.
And actually, you just mentioned Novak. He did a year in jail, and he pretty much just got out. But
oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, and he was only supposed to do 5 months on the weekend. So he would just do weekends and get out. But the idiot comes out and comes on my show on Sirius Radio, and he goes, George W. Hill Correctional Facility is idiots because they have 30 of us pissing the line, and the last person they're looking at is me, so I take my buddy's clean piss out my ass and pour it in, and somebody just forwarded it to the warden. So when he came in the next weekend, they're like, "You idiot, we heard your radio show, you piss right now," and then he did, and it turned out to be hot, and they're like, "You're getting a year in prison right now." So he thought he was doing 2 days on the weekend. He wound up getting a whole year.
If you were a decent man, why wouldn't you set Novak up with that crazy chick who broke into your house?
It sounds like a match.
Because, I mean, it seems to me that owls from Jupiter have been affecting Novak's life, too.
Yeah, actually, Novak's girlfriend is super hot, and she's such a sweetheart, and I don't know how, a scumball like him could get a girl like that. And when he was doing a year in jail, he calls me up dead serious, and he's just like, "Yo, Bam, can you please go over and visit my girlfriend and bang her out, please? Because if you don't, then she's probably going to meet some goddamn frat boy, and he's going to run around town bragging that he banged out my girl. So can you please go over and do it, please?"
Did you help him out?
Huh?
Did you do it?
Well, I did once, and then I said, he's like, "So did you do it?" I'm like, "Yes, Novak, you're welcome."
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. What a crazy life.
In his weird sick head, I could see that the logic of that, if you're going to spend a year in jail, you're going to get nervous that, something might happen because so much time goes by.
Let me understand something. So
I'd rather have my best friend do it than some frat boy bragging around town about it.
So, Bam, you went over to the house where Novak's girlfriend was, and you said, "Look, Novak asked me to bang you so that you won't get horny and bang some frat boy."
Yeah, well, he talked to her about it before he called me.
Oh,
he did, and he straightened everything out. So you walk over.
She knows what the deal is.
And she knows the deal.
She knows the deal.
And you go in, and like, does she just get naked and start kissing you right away?
Well, there's a few drinks involved, I suppose.
Right, and then and then you fucked her.
Yeah.
How many times?
Just once.
And was she like, I'm really glad you did this because I don't want to cheat on Novak?
Now I won't be with a frat boy for a while.
I think it was more of Novak wanting to feel safe that at least somebody did it.
Yeah, had you ever fooled around with her before?
If we did, it was just like a drunken thing at a bar. You know?
Right. And after you banged her, is there any emotional attachment, or does she say, "Geez, could you come back and do this again for me next week"?
No, I mean we're good friends, like super good friends, you know. But once I decided to bring Nikki out here, then that changes.
I see. So you only banged her that once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Wait, what a lifestyle.
What's Novak going to do now?
Yeah. Who's going to bang his girlfriend while he's in jail now? If Bam can't do it.
He's out now.
He's out.
Oh, he is
All
out.
right. Yeah.
Oh, good.
So she hung in there with him. Oh my God.
He told me that he was he had a roommate, like this super thug dude that was like really intimidating, and Novak had the top bunk, and one night his roommate, his name was Streets, and he hears from Novak's bunk, he's like, "Yo, man, are you jerking off up there?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yo, you can't be doing that in here, man. I feel a certain way about this." Like, he didn't know which way he felt. He just felt a certain way. I mean, Novak took his morals and threw them right out the window, so he doesn't give a shit.
Did Novak have sex in prison with any dudes?
No, but yeah, I guess he did say it's like super hard to jerk off in there because you go to the showers, there's a bunch of dudes in there, so you can't do it there.
Right.
And the toilet you share with your roommate, so I mean, there's never really a time to do it.
Yeah,
So
I guess at night would be the only time.
fuck it.
Good old Novak.
Well, it sounds like he's on his way up the ladder now that he's out of jail. Things are only looking up for him.
What was he in jail for in the first place?
Because what was he in jail for?
He forged the doctor's signature for like pills, like Xanax or something. I don't know.
And he got a weekend sentence, and then it got increased because he went on your radio show and told how he was cheating on his urine test.
Cheating on his drug
Yeah, like what
God.
kind of dipshit would?
Oh my God!
Doesn't he know that somebody could easily just forward it to the jail and say that? Like,
he's fucking retarded. And like, does he get mad at himself for that, or he's just laughing about it?
I mean, he just knows that like what he did was his idiot fault for saying that, you know.
Is he a dumb guy? I mean, like, he seems like a bright guy.
The thing is, he's like the most street smart person ever. Like,
right.
You could put him in the worst part of like Baltimore, which is like the heroin capital of the world, and like, you know, you could put him in the worst part of town, and he'll be able to talk his way out of everything, you know.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like, you know, I guess book smarts, like he's dumb as shit, I guess.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Well, what a crazy life. Hey, by the way, you can check out Bam Margera at bammargera.com, Margera.
Yeah.
You working on a new movie?
At the moment, you know how Knoxville did that, he dresses as the old man and fucks with people?
Yeah.
In Jackass? Well, there's going to be coming up soon, a whole movie about that, and I think at the end I play Spike Jonze's lover, because Spike Jonze plays a girl. So I'm his I'm his lover who Knoxville wants to beat me up to win her back, and
he's doing a whole movie of that character?
Of the old guy, huh?
Yeah,
I love that.
It's still early in the works, but other than that, I hosted Punk'd, and they liked it so much that they want me to start doing it full time now. Because
that'd be good.
Butcher's doing he's too busy doing 2.5 Men, I guess. So
yeah.
There you go.
There you go. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many like pilot type things happening that there's not really any answers on what channel it's going to be on. But like me and Tony Hawk and Jason Ellis are all working on a thing called Radio Clash, which is whatever we talk about on the radio, they film. Just like if I talk about the Florida stalker, then they would reenact what happened.
Right. Well, hey, Jason's a good dude. I've had him on the show many times. I like him.
Yeah, I heard that. It was good.
Yeah,
you never had Hawk on there, though, huh?
No, I guess not. I don't know why. Maybe we will.
Wasn't it Hawk who alerted us to Tim's eating habits at the airport?
Yeah, Hawk was. We got to get him on here.
Have who on?
Hawk.
Oh, Hawk.
Tony.
Yeah, I believe he's in New York at the moment because I just saw him there 2 days ago.
No, he's an owl from Jupiter, that guy. If you know what I mean. Well, hey, listen, Bam, it's a fascinating story. Again, another just great headline in your life. Be careful. Press charges if you want my advice.
I would close down the tree fort because she's coming back.
You really think? Oh man, I just don't want to.
Bam, listen to me. You're like a real good.
She's already troubled. I just don't want to trouble her anymore.
Yeah, but Bam, if you don't trouble, as you say, her anymore, and I know you're a good dude, and anything goes in your life, and you're tolerant of a lot of behaviors, but she sounds like so disturbed that.
Yeah, the only way to get her help is to press charges.
You're actually helping her by pressing charges because, maybe something good will come out of it. If you don't, she's just going to go right back up in the treehouse or whatever and just stalk you.
Like a cockroach.
I feel like it just seems like she's just too far gone to even have anybody analyze her to figure out what her problem is.
That's why you want her locked up.
Yeah, and you're not the person to figure that out.
Right.
Yeah, like when you hear people at raves who are selling like acid, and they have like a massive vial, and then it breaks and soaks into their leg, and then they're nuts forever.
Right.
Like I think that probably happened to her.
Yeah, I mean it's a sad story, but you can't get sucked into that sad story. You've got to really realize your own safety and
your girlfriend's.
And if that chick gets out, you better beef up security around there.
This woman says she wants to marry you. She might be dangerous to any other woman in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think somebody diagnosed her, and she's like officially like bipolar, schizophrenic, all that.
Yeah. Let me speak to that hot new girlfriend of yours.
Hold on.
What's her name?
Nikki.
Hello.
Hey, baby.
Hi, honey. How are you?
No. What's your story? You're super hot.
Oh yeah, you know what I look like?
Yeah, I just saw a picture of you. You look like a little like Mila Kunis and Angelina Jolie.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I like that. Are you doing any kind of work, or are you just like living with Bam?
Living here with Bam for right now, but
and my pagan biker buddy who's guarding the property.
Good. You need like 50
you
pagan
need about
biker buddies.
50, yeah.
And so your whole thing is just having sex with Bam, right?
Wait, what?
Like your whole thing is just like being with Bam and pleasing him.
Well, I mean, I love him to death. Yeah.
You have any
Don't
aspirations?
love. I moved out here from San Francisco.
Nice.
What'd you do before?
Huh?
Like, what do you like?
do before?
What's your aspirations?
I am a photographer, graphic designer, and I also pose for art naked, like figure modeling.
No kidding. How can I like a lot of us?
Don't you draw, Howard?
Well, I've got a sketch pad with a Mont Blanc pen and stuff. I'm pretty much into sketching. Any chance I can hire you to pose nude for me?
Yeah, sure, why not?
What does a thing like that cost?
Well, I got paid $200 for 3 hours.
Oh, fuck. We'll give you $400 for 3 hours.
You don't even have to, but you're going to just throw it in.
I'm doubling your salary.
$400 for 3 hours.
Yeah. Hey, why don't you come down here? I'll give you $400. And
you want me to model for you?
Yeah. I'll draw
Okay.
you. I'd love to
All
draw
right,
you.
let's
I would
do it
love to.
then.
Beautiful. Fuck. Well, you look. That's great. $400. You'll be naked for 3 hours.
So Bam here
Yeah.
was just saying that do you guys still give away boob implants?
What?
What kind of thing?
No, a boob job.
Boob job.
Boob jobs. Oh,
Do me a favor? Let me look you over when I'm drawing you. I got my suspicions are you don't need fake boobs. Like you're probably hot
and Bam doesn't need you to win them.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing is that I do have a butt.
I gotta sketch you.
Okay.
Do you mind if I position you when I sketch you? I have various positions I like.
I can work with that, yeah. I can do that.
Probably all fours.
Yes, I can do that.
So how's that work? Like, you come into my classroom, and then you, like, disrobe in front of me.
I take off my clothes, I have a robe, I go on stage, and I do my thing, yeah.
Yeah, and then however we want to pose you, we can pose you, and we just draw you and stuff.
Exactly.
Fred,
Who decides on the pose?
I'll do that with Fred.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, when you go to these classes, who decides on the pose?
I do.
Oh, wow. What's your favorite pose?
How about this? I will show you all of them when I go in there.
Oh, great.
Will you ever, like, spread completely open so I can draw the inside of
Like
your
a
vagina?
hustler pose?
Yeah, like a hustler type deal?
With a leg up on a chair?
Yeah.
You would do that?
Yeah.
Wow. Anus, and the anus spread as well?
Oh, God, I don't know about that, no.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
No clear sphincter?
No, nothing like that, no.
Don't forget, we're doubling your pay, so...
Okay, so Bam here, he's going to forward you guys a photo that he took of me
Oh, good.
naked.
Yeah. Let me see that. Hey, Gary. Bam, whose address does Bam have?
Are you talking to
Maybe
me?
Gary's.
Does Bam have our email?
Do you have their email address?
No, but I could get it from,
Gary.
Okay, here, how about this? I'll hand you over the phone.
No.
Oh, no.
We're not done yet. Who else is going to
okay.
sketch? Well, I've got that artist known as Fred Norris. Have you ever heard of him? Fred Norris will be drawing you. He's a pretty famous artist.
Not familiar with my work?
Fred Norris?
Yeah, he'll be doing you. I'll be doing
No, I'm
you.
going to have to look that up.
Yeah. Wow. You sound like a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, a blast, I think.
We got this artist here, J.D. Van Gogh, they call him. He'll be drawing you, too.
J.D. Van
All
Gogh.
right.
Yeah, we'll all have berets on. It's going to be cool. We'll paint. It's going to be awesome.
Well, I'm excited.
Yeah. You in love with Bam?
Yes, I am.
Do you want to marry him?
I would love to be with him forever, yes.
Wow.
We're
A
just
lot
on
of
the
people
same
have tried.
wavelength.
Were you freaking out when that chick was in there?
Oh, God, I've never experienced anything like that ever in my life.
Can I tell you
Yeah,
something?
that was rather strange, but
You better sit him down and say, listen, dude, you've got to press charges because this girl.
I got to be able to sleep.
Because this girl could come and kill you if she gets violent because she's jealous of you.
well, see, the thing is that she was not acting violent, which
Right.
is a good thing.
That's good.
She also, like, Bam doesn't want to press charges, but we did call the cops, and once we put this in the cops' hands, they take it from there, and since she did break the law and all that stuff, like, they're going to follow through with all the...
No, they have to.
She did do, yeah.
You listen to the
we're not
cops.
going to, press any charges because she wasn't...
No. Oh. All right, well, you better talk that over.
And Bam was talking about getting a gun, but I can't allow that because I am a felon.
Oh, you're a felon?
What'd you do?
Oh,
What did you do that you're a felon?
I caught my boyfriend at the time cheating, and I pistol whipped him.
Whoa.
That's a felony?
That's a felony. How
pissed-
bad was it?
You pistol whipped a dude? Wow.
Yeah. Well, he tackled me down on the ground while she walked out, and...
Oh, you caught him in the act.
Oh, wow. Hey, you didn't shoot him. You just pistol whipped him. What is pistol whipping exactly? Where you take the butt of the gun and you just kind of smack him in their face?
Exactly.
Oh, that's cool.
Several times.
Wow. I bet your Bam won't cheat on you.
Well, I think he had his time for play.
And what did he do? Did he press charges against you?
It's kind of a long story. Maybe when I go in there and I'm model free, I'll explain it to you.
Yeah, when you're
Like,
naked,
more
you can explain
detail.
that to me. Why did you?
I mean, my dumb ass decided to date somebody who was running a brothel, and there's a lot more of the story, but
oh dear,
I kind of don't want to go into it.
Were you hooking?
No.
You weren't
No,
hooking.
I was the photographer.
You were a photographer at a brothel?
They take pictures.
I don't want any pictures of that. Sir, would you like to have your picture taken with your hooker? How do you become a photographer?
There's no way in hell that I can do something like that. No way.
How do you become a photographer at a brothel?
Yeah.
Well, I met this guy who I didn't know that he was running it
Right.
for a while. But then he found out that I was a photographer, and he said that he needed somebody to take some photos of these girls. I said, sure, why not? And so I did, and yeah.
So how long did you go away to jail for pistol whipping your boyfriend?
2.5 months in county.
Did you do any chicks in there, or
Oh, no.
that's not your thing?
Oh, God, no.
Yeah. Were your parents upset that you pistol whipped the
I
guy?
was on 3 years felony probation.
Wow.
Oh, so you're free and clear of that now?
Yes.
Yeah, but Bam can get a gun.
Finally.
Why can't Bam get a gun?
But
Just
she
'cause-
can't have a
I
gun.
live here.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You mean Bam can't have a gun because you live there?
Exactly, yeah.
Holy mackerel. What's happening to our rights, Robin?
They're being trampled on.
Wow.
Not
So,
fair.
jeez, you're wild. You are just,
I learned a lot.
you're the whole package.
Yeah, I wonder how this guy could go back to the brothel after, a chick beat him up.
Yeah, right. I mean, and was he humiliated that you had beaten him up?
Well, I would imagine so.
Yeah.
He looked pretty horrible with a huge lump on the side of his head.
Jeez, I can't wait to draw you.
Wow.
Wait, what was that?
Can't wait to draw this chick, Robin.
I know. She's exciting.
Yeah, I'm really going to do a good job. I'm a pretty
Well,
good...
I'm excited, too.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy my sketch work.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't mind looking like a stick figure.
Do you actually draw?
Yeah, I sketch.
You
I do. Yeah. I mean, it's no big deal for me to sketch a nude woman. I mean, I've done it many times.
He's also a photographer. You two can
I am a
swap notes.
photographer.
You are a photographer?
Yeah.
Really?
Shot a few covers.
Oh. Well, I would love to actually see some of your stuff, too.
And maybe I'll take a few pictures while you're naked.
Oh, and you have to also see what Bam has been working on. He's been painting like a maniac.
Oh, I bet
Painting?
with you in the house. I paint too.
I mean, I've modeled for him a couple times, yeah.
Yeah. Tell them to bring those paintings.
Bam's an artist?
Sure.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I guess when you have a girl who's willing to be naked all the time and pose for you, you become an artist. Why not?
Well, you got to see the kind of stuff that he does. It's
Yeah, I want to see that.
With the naked photo that he's going to send over of me, he'll take some photos and of his art and all that. And
How
send them
quick can I get that naked photo? Can I put you guys on hold and then you can get on with Gary?
We texted Bam the email address.
Oh, you did?
So just tell Bam to check his text.
They just texted you the email address.
Okay.
As many as he can send.
As many as you can send.
Please.
Oh, God.
What if you could actually see pussy lips?
What'd you say? Yeah, we want to see her lips. Is that what he said?
Here, I'll let you talk to him.
Yeah, let me talk to him. I'll get
The
to
Owl from Jupiter said what?
It was nice talking to you guys.
Hey, nice talking to you. You seem very cool.
Do you want the Hustler version photos?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, you got those.
Playboy version.
We'll take both, actually. Both versions, Playboy and Hustler.
All right, fair enough.
Hey, I've booked an appointment to draw her.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll come up and paint her, too.
Howard
cool.
is hiring, yeah.
Yeah. We've got some people here who are artists. We all want to paint her.
Right on. Bring it on.
All right, Bam. All right, well, hey, listen, go to BamMargera.com, Margera, and check out what he's up to, and obviously a lot of cool stuff.
Oh, and you also have to follow Eric_the_cat at Twitter, because he's my new cat, and he's getting loads of followers. I take photos of him driving the Lamborghini and stuff like that.
Oh, my goodness.
Maybe they should lock the two of you up and let that girl out.
Other people's sentences aren't making sense.
That's right. I like that Bam met a girl that doesn't make any sense. He's going to lock her up. All right, Bam, you continue to be great. And we look forward to those pictures, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yeah, right on.
All right, later.
Definitely later.
Bye.
Bam Margera. He's got the treehouse thing going.
Yeah, I mean, who knew he had a tree fort for real that she could live in?
He's so much fun, that guy. I love his new girlfriend.
What's not to love?
Gary, do we have those pictures yet?
Not yet.
Oh, come on.
Now look at you all anxious. Calm down.
I feel like
They're only going to get here as fast as he sends them.
I feel like I'm by the microwave waiting for the coffee to heat up, and 30 seconds is too long. What are you doing? You checking?
Yeah, no, I keep checking.
You keep refreshing your email? Hurry up.
I keep hitting replication.
I just hired her. I doubled her salary, so we're going to be painting. Get the easels out, the beret. We haven't done that.
Bam's even painting. She inspires people.
Yeah. I haven't painted in a while.
Right. Do you still have the equipment? Where is it?
Yeah, we still have. We can get it out of the mothballs. My paintings are pretty crude.
It's at the museum.
Fred's actually pretty good. He'll probably do a nice painting of her.
Is your sketching better than your painting?
Yeah.
Maybe you ought to sketch while Fred paints.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that.
But the painting takes a while.
Yeah, I'll sketch and Fred will paint.
Took me 6 weeks to do a Baba Booey.
Yeah. Oh, it's a fabulous Baba Booey. Any luck there, Gare?
Oh, I mean, it's not like he just hung up the phone. You know, take a minute to get
Yeah,
to
God knows what Bam is doing.
Yeah, but he should have been preparing while we were talking.
He's not on the tight schedule we're on.
Look, he's a guy who doesn't want to turn in the girl in the tree fort.
He really is a jackass.
I love that she pistol whipped the dude, and he's afraid of the chick who broke into the house.
Oh, that is such a funny story. She's the greatest girl. Of course she's dating Bam. She dated a guy who ran a brothel.
Oh, and she had the greatest line, by the way. You know, you go, oh, is it Bam a little while? She goes, yeah, he had his fun. Like, it's all done now.
Yeah, it's all over.
But Bam
She
better...
pistol whips him.
Yeah, Bam better pay heed to that story.
Yeah. Still no pictures, huh? Look, there's about 50 guys around Gary's
Everybody's
computer.
waiting. That's a line. It looks like the Apple store.
Yeah. All right, I guess I got to take a break. I was hoping
and wait.
Yeah, I was hoping
Get
for
some
pictures.
patience.
Shit.
Nothing yet.
Nothing. Oh. Don't tickle my ass with a feather.
How do you know how Bam is with technology? He might have to wait for somebody to
No,
do
he's
all
like a
this.
young guy. He's these kids today can text and do everything. I got to get John Lieberman in here. He uncovered his story. Real quick, John, get in here because I got to do Robin's News and we got a big meeting today. So you got to hear this. So John uncovered a big story concerning Sal.
Uh-huh.
So here's how the mystery started, Howard.
Right.
Ronnie brought to my attention this morning that Sal has worn hats to work the past 2 days.
And everyone asks me if I notice, and I go, I never look at Sal.
So, of course, we solve mysteries, we uncover things. So I confronted Sal about this. What we've learned is the reason that Sal is wearing caps to work is because his hair cannot be exposed to light anymore.
What?
And that is because he is doing a hair treatment called iGrow,
What an
where
idiot.
51 light sources, including 21 laser diodes and 30 LED lights, are strapped into a helmet on his head, shooting these rays into his hair follicles in hopes of growing them. Now, we've done a lot of research.
He has a full head of hair.
It must be thinning to him because he was taking that.
He's an
Propecia,
asshole. Like,
wasn't he?
doesn't he realize there's probably no scientific data that supports that shooting light into your head is going to make your hair grow? I mean, what is that?
Well, funny you should ask. It's a low-level laser therapy, and it's hands-free. So you strap on this helmet. It looks like a bike helmet.
Don't you think if somebody came up with a way for hair to grow, the guy would be a multi-billionaire? And I'm not saying that this causes cancer, but, you know, aren't you a little afraid of shooting light into your head?
All I know is that the contraption, and Gary's bringing it in now.
It's a bicycle helmet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, what a douche fucking bag he is. He's a
It
moron.
probably does nothing, Howard.
He's the guy who like you know, like snake oil salesman used
Right.
to.
He's Ralph Cramden.
But he's not trying to make money off of this.
No.
He's just spending money on everything.
But this is great.
Put this helmet on, and what happens?
Well, you put the helmet on, and these 51 light sources beam into your hair follicles. In addition, you have to put on different lotions. It's a whole regimen. But get this.
What's he paying for that?
Well, we've done some digging, and it turns out this company sent this to Tim Sabian a while ago, but Sal, now wanting to grow his hair, has now taken advantage of it. But here's the thing.
Sal has hair.
Well, look, Sal wants to be in movies. He wants to improve his teeth, improve his hair. And here's what we've learned about how you actually have to store this helmet. It is stored in it looks like a hard chrome suitcase underneath Sal's desk. And when you open it up, you have the helmet and all the accompanying lotions and powders, and it's a whole contraption.
What does it cost?
It costs retail $699.
And how do you have to wear this every day, or
He looks
how
like
many hours?
Looks like he joined the gay roller derby with this hat. Look at this.
This company released this product in February of 2011, so it's a fairly new product.
Yeah, I bet.
But
you know, listen, I don't know the company, and I'm not saying anybody's doing anything wrong. I'm not saying it's illegitimate. I'm not saying anything. But, you know, it just seems to me if somebody really figured out a way to grow hair, it would be revolutionary. And I don't know what this is, but this guy's fucking retarded. He'll do anything to himself.
The thing is that your hair, it warns you during this treatment program that if your hair is exposed to light, strange things can happen.
Let's expose him to light.
And
Nothing.
this is why Sal is wearing the ball cap to work every day. You have to do it for a week. No light for a week on your hair.
I mean, Sal, come here. I bet you if I told Sal, like, if you eat my shit, it'll grow hair.
It'll grow hair, he would do it.
He would do it. He'd do it anyway. You're such a fucking asshole. I can't even believe it. You're like a moron.
Why? Because I want my hair to look good.
First of all, you have hair.
Yeah.
What are you worried about? Oh, light got on it. You're stupid. Yeah, don't you think if somebody figured out a way to grow hair, that it would be the front page of every newspaper for a year?
Well, I might be the first poster child. You never know. I mean,
you don't know what this is.
I don't, but it's worth a shot.
Did you do any research? Do you know?
No, Tim gave it to me. I said, "What the hell? I'll give it a shot."
You don't care. Whatever someone gives you, you'll rub into your head.
Pretty much.
All right, good. Okay.
Not anything, but you know, I did research it. Like John is research. Well, I knew to put the baseball hat on and not to expose it to light. I'm doing
But what scientific evidence is it that they grow hair?
Beats the shit out of me.
Yeah, okay.
It looks like a cool contraption, so I'm giving it a shot.
Put it on your head. Let me see what it looks like.
Have you felt any overheating, Sal? Because it appears that it could overheat your head. Do you feel your head getting
I have no
warm?
nerves in my brain, so I don't feel shit.
I hope you go bald from it. That would be
That's
really
very
cool.
nice of you.
Look, you've got such a lovely full head of hair. Why are you worrying?
And these things massage in, and they work the follicles.
That's for people. Are you losing your hair?
A little bit here and there. I'm very self-conscious about it.
Just leave your hair alone.
Okay.
You're such a douchebag. Stop.
How funny that
Okay.
thing is.
You know what? I'll stop.
When are you going to do your next
You
treatment?
gotta plug
Tonight.
Put that thing in?
Yeah, you got to plug that in. Robin, we got to watch him do his treatment.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Sal, why were you angry when we asked you about it?
I wasn't angry. Like Ronnie was just speculating something was up because I was wearing it. So I said, again, I'm not plugging the product. I just want to do this on my own. I didn't want you to break my balls and call me the douchebag and asshole.
You look
that
like
did.
Lance Armstrong when he's riding the bike there. Or you know, like when Will.i.am wears that like that thing on his head.
Oh yeah, and the Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah, Black Eyed Peas. You look like the Black Eyed Peas.
I'm a black-eyed idiot.
Right.
How long does the treatment take at night? Like an hour or two?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, it's a long treatment.
Well, it's worth it. Look at him.
I fall asleep with it, and you know what? I can't hear my wife with this thing on, so it's pretty good. It's fantastic.
Right. Oh my God.
I'm
So
giving it a
funny.
shot. I don't know.
Right.
Who the hell
Oh, my
knows?
God.
I don't know anything anymore.
Yeah,
It's all-
you know what? You know, if you rub my shit all over you, you'll grow hair. All right. Well, you're a genius.
When
Well,
did he
Indians build
start
houses
this
from
and
shit.
when will
Maybe it'll grow
he-
hair. You know, it is useful.
What, Robin?
When did he start this, and when will he see results?
Never.
What's that, Robin?
I said, when did you start, and when do you expect to see results?
Beats the shit out of me.
Hey, seriously, for $500, I'll sell you my time-traveling sombrero that I bought in Mexico. What do you
It couldn't
think?
look any stupider than that.
Sounds good.
So you didn't pay for the treatment? You just like...
Well, Tim threw it to me a year ago. It's been
Right.
sitting under my desk, and one day I was like, I think my hair's starting to get a little thin. I looked at this contraption. I said, what the hell? I'll slap it on my head.
Look, turn to your left. Your left.
Oh my God.
Your other left.
Read the
Get
read the
lost.
sign, Ron.
You cadaver.
Ronnie had a big... First of all, I say turn to your left, he turns to his right. You finally turn to your left, and you see Ronnie's been holding an asshole sign over you for the entire...
Well, on TV, that's my left, so.
Yeah.
It takes 6 months to see any results, according to the company's website.
Good. They're out of town by the time you come to get sent.
So we'll do it before and after. We'll see what the hell happens.
All right. Good for you, Sal. Congratulations on your hair growth.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Right. Use your head, man. Really, seriously. Really.
I am with this helmet.
But just use your fucking head.
All right, so maybe I'll bail on it.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate the help.
When I see more evidence that this really grows hair, I'll...
Okay. We should put it on like Scott the engineer, maybe.
Yeah, see if he grows hair. I guarantee he won't.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Thank you for uncovering that big story.
Another mystery solved.
Right. You might have saved it. You might have just saved him a lot of aggravation.
I saved your life.
Yeah, you never know. I don't know anything about it. I'm just saying. And again, I don't know this company. I mean, maybe they've unlocked the secret to growing hair. I mean,
well, they came out in February of 2011.
Right.
I think we would have heard about it if it.
You'd think so. Well, maybe people just don't know.
You spend so much time prank calling Tradio and all these other ridiculous product peddling services. Why would
Here's the next item that's going up for sale.
Why would you ever believe that a product like that works? It reeks of a infomercial scam.
Because it was under my desk, it was for free. Tim was nice enough to lend it to me, and I gave it a shot.
What was the tipping point with your hair? I mean, Howard himself said you have a full head of hair. I mean, what's been going on lately that you're noticing? Are you
Nothing really. I just like to have it a little. I stopped the alopecia because it was from India, and Howard called it a piece of shitter. And then I'm using a little Rogaine, but then the Rogaine really wasn't working for me. So I said, let me give this thing. I just gave it a shot. It's called iGrow. I'm looking to grow some hair. What the hell's the big deal?
I overheard Will Murray say that you must have a death wish because, and I thought he made a great point. I mean, you're smoking electronic cigarettes.
Yeah.
You're putting non-regulated drugs into your system like alopecia and various other drugs you've been ordering. Now you're shooting like death rays into your hair.
Listen to me. Look at Keith Richards. He smokes weed, he does heroin, he drinks all day. Look at all these guys. Guys still going. Every day we have interviews with celebrities and stuff. They're doing tons of drugs. They're hurting their bodies. At least the drugs that I do are trying to improve my body. There's nothing wrong with trying to better yourself. I am using this helmet on my head to try to better myself. Like John said, I'm in the movie industry now. I do movies now. I got big things in the works. I just finished Jersey Shore Massacre. It's huge. Stars Richard Christie. Stars Bigfoot. You can plug this into your car as well.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Dude, what are you thinking? Where does this self-consciousness come from?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think I have to go see a therapist to find out. No,
but has your wife been saying anything to you about your hair thinning out? Has she made you feel
I could come home with a ski mask and she wouldn't look at me twice. She doesn't reckon. When I had my beard, I had it on for 3 weeks. I say to her at the dinner table, I go, so what do you think? She goes, what? I go, my beard. She goes, oh, I didn't notice. So you think she doesn't notice many things.
So you're not attempting to impress her or do anything?
No, it's for myself. Would you be upset if you were losing your hair?
Yes, I would, but I'd be very, very skeptical about a product such as this.
Yeah, well,
Show me how this is kept under your desk. They kept alluding to the fact that there's a whole kit, a whole case.
Oh, that's the whole thing over here. You got the remote control. You have.
Could you just turn it down for one more? Thanks, buddy.
You got this here. You have your remote control. You have the helmet. It goes into this special box. Then you have your iGrow lotions. You have your daily shampoo. You have your conditioners. So
let me see that case again, if you don't mind.
You get the case here. Where's the top? You got this here, and then nice sturdy protective case. Even Benji says it's not a bad idea. Benji probably agrees with me. Why not give it a shot?
Well, I would read it up about it. But if you do get rid of it, let me know.
All right.
Because I'll read into it and stuff.
Okay.
What's the name of the
iGrow?
I'll look at. Is it? Do you know what's in the shampoo and stuff? Does it say?
Beats the shit out of me.
They don't have ingredient listed.
I don't even bother reading it. You know me.
I'll look it up.
I read a few testimonials.
Because that thing with the brush supposedly did have some research.
Yeah, I've seen that too. I was going to buy the brush. The brush was like $200.
I've heard of that for years. That if you use an electric brush,
well, it sounds like it's the same kind of.
Listen,
probably is.
Smoking electric cigarettes.
But it only makes the hair you have.
I'm using electric contraptions on my head. People have pacemakers. Some people, it's an electric contraption for your heart.
No, I mean there is something.
Yeah. You heard of RoboCop? I'm RoboSal. Gonna have Robo hair. I got Robo cigarettes. What the hell? Well, it'll have a RoboCop.
So this is like the double play carcinogen thing going on here. Like
sure, absolutely.
Double your cancer chances. Can you smoke that with the helmet on, please?
That's what I do at night. I put on the helmet. I get the rays going in there. So I sit back. This. That's it. Electro Man, right here. Great lungs, great head of hair. It's better than me. Keep laughing, everybody. All you bald idiots out there. Keep smoking your cigarettes with your yellow fingers and your stinky breath and your bald-headed, disgusting looks. Look at me. Electric cigarette. New head of hair. I'm going to get the last laugh, pal.
Hey Stern fans, welcome to Fine Time, the show where you, the fans, get the opportunity to ask questions and interact with your favorite Stern Show staffers, whack packers, and celebrity superfans. I'm your host, Rachel Fine. Now, my guest today is one of the hardest working executive producers in the history of radio. He's very well read and continuously improving his education. He is a proud former Marine who served our country in the first Gulf War, and he has run for city council. He is often a target of Ned's song parodies, and he was once arrested for a live on-air stunt in which a pig was slaughtered. He has a history in Muay Thai, meaning that he trained for a couple months and then did his first fight in which he was TKO'd in 39 seconds. Howard once called him one of the best in the business. Please welcome from Bubba the Love Sponge Show, Brent Hatley. Thanks for joining us, Brent.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Outstanding. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. It's an honor to be on your show. You guys do a great job.
Thank you. I'm so happy to have you here. We had lots of questions come in, and I'm excited to ask.
Sure.
Fantastic. First one comes from @Kovac8. @Kovac8 asks, who are you endorsing for president of the U.S. and why?
That's easy. It's Ron Paul. I've been a long-time Ron Paul supporter because he's the only one that is truly anti-war. Because you don't really understand how brutal war is until you go.
Yeah.
Ron Paul was a surgeon during Vietnam, and I think he understands why he's anti-war and why he's not for interfering in other countries' business, number one. Number two, he wants to legalize marijuana. So what else do you want from a presidential candidate? I don't understand how he's not winning, but that's my endorsement is Ron Paul.
Excellent. Next question comes from @Cindy23. Cindy asks, has there ever been a moment on the show where you said to yourself, okay, we really screwed up this time and we will be in a lot of trouble?
Yes. I think I kind of got that feeling the day when you talk about the hog incident. I kind of got the feeling that day. Matter of fact, I was the one that was outside. I was on the cell phone reporting it. And I didn't really, while I was in the moment, get that feeling, but afterwards, because we were in a big building with salespeople and human resources and corporate America, and the reaction of some of the people in the building, I was like, this is going to be trouble. I didn't know it was going to be as much trouble, but I thought it was going to be some trouble.
You felt it coming?
Yeah.
Do you regret it now, looking back?
Of course, yeah. I don't think we should ever do that again. But on the brighter side, we were acquitted, and our show has never not been number one since we did that. So it had some good upside to it as well, but we just wouldn't do it again.
Gotcha. Next question comes from Martin W. Martin asks, have you ever considered a serious political run?
Yes, I just ran for city council in the city of St. Petersburg in District 3, which is where I live. And for 3 years. I'm going to run again. And this first time was really, I knew I wasn't going to win. I was running against a long-time incumbent, but he's out. He's termed out, and it'll be an open seat in the next term. But I needed to run this last time just to get the feel of how the political process works. And I did learn. I learned a lot about how the political process works and how to get elected. So I think I will succeed when it's an open seat.
And will you be running on the legalized marijuana ticket?
Well, see, that's not in the purview of city council. If it was in the purview of city council, yeah, that would be my position. But my position right now is we have red light cameras in St. Pete, and you get a ticket before you get a chance to even argue your case in front of a judge, and you don't get your Sixth Amendment right to cross-examine your accuser because it's a camera. Right. So my thing would be getting rid of red light cameras. I think that's a step towards European socialism when you start putting cameras on every corner. So my big thing would be more freedom for everybody and no dogs chained up in the yard.
I love it.
That's one of the ordinances I would make is you cannot chain your dog to a tree in Florida outside and just leave it in the yard.
I think the people need to vote for him. This is an excellent platform. Next question is from Angelo Valences. He asks, what is the most bizarre setup you ever had to prepare for regarding an on-air bit?
It'd have to be the rat milkshake.
He's holding the rat by the tail and it's circling over the blender. This is a dead rat. This is as dead as it gets.
I swear to God.
This is bona fide, man.
I swear to God.
That is the nastiest rat I've ever seen.
I swear to God, I am going to puke. Now, they're going to blend it. I will puke. I swear to God, I'll puke.
I had to go out. There's actually a place in Florida, believe it or not, called the Rat Farm. And I had to go see this redneck named Buzzy. Awesome. And what he would do is he gave me, they farm so many rats, a certain amount of them just died just because. So he'd give me the rats that had just died of natural causes, and I'd have to go pick up the rats from the rat farm to come back to be able to do rat milkshakes on the air. So that's the most bizarre by far.
Yeah.
Amongst many bizarre things that we've done. That was the most bizarre for sure.
That sounds like it. Next question is from Eric P. Eric asks, are you still into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
I love it. I would love to do it. I'm out of time. We do 2 shows a day. Plus I do a sports show every other week. And then every Friday I do a talk show on serial killers. So I'm really, really busy. And I wish I could train more. I may take some private lessons. Rob Kahn was talking to me about coming down and doing some private lessons a couple times a week.
Right now, for those of you listening, Hoist has Brent in a back triangle, and he's squeezing the life out of Brent.
But I still love Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's great exercise. It's a great lifestyle. It's a healthy lifestyle. That's what I like about it the most.
Yeah. Alex from Hamburg asks, would you consider Bubba a close friend, and do you hang out in private?
Yes, he is a close friend. Since he bought his racetrack, I haven't been able to hang out with him much because it's a business, that racetrack. It's a good business because it's a good, for what they pay for their entertainment dollar. They get a lot for it, but Bubba physically has to be there to run the races, so I don't see him as much as I used to. But if the racetrack makes him happy, which it really, really does, you can see that he's much happier now owning a racetrack. I think that that's good for him.
Sophia M. asks, if you were caught sleeping on the job, what would Bubba do to you?
Bubba would put me on the torture rack and shock my balls to no end if I was caught sleeping on the job. And see, the difference is I've got a glass window where Bubba can see right in and look at me at any time of the day. Bubba can see what I'm doing. So I really couldn't sleep on the job without him noticing.
And having a torture rack to electrocute your nuts is good motivation to stay awake.
Yeah. And plus you got to stay awake to make sure you're hearing everything that Bubba's saying on the air.
Yeah.
Because you can't get caught, with a reporter from the newspaper calling, hey, did Bubba say this, and this? You have to know exactly what he just said. So no chances for me to sleep on the job.
Gotcha. At Dave Lampert 28 asks, what is the worst thing you have ever done to piss Bubba off, and how did he react?
It's going to sound lame, but it was kind of big at the time, is we were in Jacksonville one time to do a broadcast, and this was before the days of GPS. It was in 2002, so we really didn't have GPS. So I had MapQuested from the hotel to the radio studio that we had never been to, but we got all kinds of lost, and we walked into the door to the radio station at 6 a.m., So Bubba freaked out. I mean, he was really, really, that's the maddest I've ever seen him Because you know that feeling of being lost is bad
it's
anyway.
awful.
And being lost and knowing that you have a show to do and no time to do any prep, he was furious about that. So that was the worst. But now we got GPS, so we don't get lost anymore.
Excellent. Next question is from Perry R. Perry asks, who is better on the radio, Howard or Bubba, and what does each bring to the table?
I think that's not, for me, the way I listen to the radio, that's not really fair to compare, because they both do different things. I mean, it's all relative. Like asking somebody who's your favorite band. I like different bands for different reasons. I like them both for different reasons. Howard is, these days, a lot more calm and paced and very deliberate. When I first started listening to Howard in the early 90s, he was all kinds of pissed off. And that's when I really became a fan of Howard, because he would just bring people in machine gun and just mow them down. Bubba, I like on the air because you never quite know. Like sitting in the chair producing the show for the full 4 hours. Honestly, my stomach is in knots because I just don't know what he's going to do. And that's the thing about Bubba, is you just don't know where he's going to go with something. And they're just different like that. Howard's very deliberate, and he kind of knows where he's going to go with things. And Bubba's like a bull in a china shop. So they're different. And you can't really say one's better than the other. It's all relative. And I've got a lot of respect for Phil Hendry, too. I mean, I'm a huge fan of his. But they all three do different things. And I think that just like music, you've got to appreciate each air personality for what they do.
Absolutely. Next question comes from @Zuba. Zuba asks, if you had the chance to take over producing Howard's show, would you leave Bubba?
That's a tough question. It really is, because I got a lot of respect for Gary. Gary's a good friend of mine. I love Gary. I really do. And everybody that works at Howard's show does a great job, and they've all been fantastic, just great to me. That would, it would be tough for me to live in New York City. It would. We have a lot of room here in Florida, and Bubba kind of leaves me to be a little bit more autonomous. So I don't know. It would depend. Bubba's been good to me, so it'd be hard to leave Bubba after he's been so loyal to me after all these years. But Howard's also been great to me as well. So I would do it if Bubba didn't have a show anymore.
Fair enough. And Gary was not working there.
Yeah, I would never take Gary's job. I'd never step on Gary's toes. Gary's a great guy. He really is. People give Gary a hard time, and I know it's fun to goof on Gary, but Gary, deep down, is awesome. I love Gary.
Awesome. I want to thank Brent for taking the time to answer the questions that you, the fans, submitted. Keep sending your questions in. You can tweet them, you can Facebook them, you can email them, you can even send a video submission. Remember, this is your show, so don't screw it up. Until next time, I'm Rachel Fine, and I hope you had a fine time. I had a fine time with you, sir.
Thank you.
That was fantastic. Enlightening.
In our email, Howard grilling JD on the air equals awesome. There's nothing better when Howard questions JD on his personal life. Girls, his apartment, video games, anything. It's always awesome radio. Can you please do this every time you're on the air? A lot of negative comments about Scott DePace, about his comments on Matt Taibbi's Rolling Stone article. Does Scott DePace really expect we listeners to believe that Howard doesn't understand Matt Taibbi's Rolling Stone article? Yeah, I was listening to Scott DePace on the wrap-up show. It's so insulting. It's like he probably thinks I don't have a reading comprehension of any kind.
Dude, that's a terribly complex article.
terribly complex.
Too complex for Howard.
I think I got it.
There's gaping holes in it.
You know, believe it or not, Scott, I managed to get through college and read, so I have a feeling I could understand Matt Taibbi's article. It wasn't that complicated. It was complicated for you.
You can understand what he wrote, but there's things missing.
There are things missing.
What happens to the capital that's given to the company to buy it out? Well, that money doesn't disappear.
No, the company has to pay it back.
Oh, yeah, they have to pay it back, but...
And then they're in debt. What the fuck part of that don't you understand? That's what a leveraged buyout is.
The money doesn't disappear.
And the management fees are tacked on to the to pay off Bain Capital's management team that bankrupted them in the first place. Look, I'm not going to go through this again. You don't listen, dude. You're so mistrustful of anything that doesn't fit into your limited scope of the world.
Did you read the article?
Open your mouth. No.
Of course not.
I haven't seen it.
All right. Well, it's up there.
When did you post it?
Last night about 6 o'clock.
Well, I didn't see it, but I'll look for it today. I'm sure it's retarded. But I will read it. I have an open mind. I'm trying to learn. You're not. You're just trying to defend some weird party that you're a part of.
I read the Taibbi article.
Yeah, good.
And he saw the gaping holes that you wouldn't know about.
No, it was too complex.
They were glaringly obvious.
He said, Howard, he said yesterday you couldn't possibly understand the complexities of the stock market.
But he does?
He does. None of us do. I said none of us here understand investment.
Let me go listen to what you said. Let's see what you said. Here we go.
Because we're probably not going to understand this either.
You're so fucking smart. With that, what education was that? What?
Glassboro State.
That Glassboro State.
Did very well there.
Guys, are you doing that in there or am I? Holy mackerel.
That's happening in front of you.
I want to get to Gary Page 1 and the thing just floats. All right, let's see. Scott DePace and what he feels.
This is a tough time of year. Once election season comes in and these guys start with their liberal bullshit, it drives me nuts. You know, the media starts giving...
I'm not a liberal. I just read stuff and make an opinion. I don't go into anything belonging to a party like you. I listen to the candidate. Jesse Ventura put out an excellent thought. There shouldn't even be parties, so that you'd had to examine the man and what he stood for. You know how many people wouldn't know who to vote for if it wasn't for the party? They just do whatever the party is. It's just like a gang.
It's not what I do.
When you're in the gang, sure it is. When's the last time you voted for a Democrat?
Locally, I have.
I doubt it. You're just saying that now. Right. When's the last time you voted for?
I would vote against Bloomberg if I could, if I was a New York resident.
Yeah, but you're not. When's the last time you voted against a president?
Oh, president never.
Who was a Republican?
Because there are things that.
And then ask me how many times I voted Republican in the presidential elections. Many times.
The social issues are your deal. That's not.
No, they're not. That's not how I vote.
If a Democrat sounded conservative, I would vote for him.
I tell you what, I wouldn't want any Mitt Romney appointing anybody to the Supreme Court. First of all, I mean, how?
Of course, because abortion's going to get over.
Not abortion. On every single fucking issue, it's out of line. Gay marriage. And not that it's up for a Supreme Court vote.
But does Scott actually agree with the Supreme Court decision that corporations are individuals?
Absolutely.
Oh, you're out of your mind.
Of course he does.
You can't. Oh, God.
You believe that a corporation is an individual?
It is people. When people have money, they're allowed to spend it how they want. If they want to campaign for a certain
you think that's good?
That's fine.
So corporations should have that right, too.
Corporations are made up of people.
Yes. But they're not individuals.
They're corporations.
And they're buying the vote.
What if I own the whole corporation?
Well,
that's you doing something.
So why can't you personally donate?
I don't know. Let's not change the subject.
All right.
That you can't discuss.
That was probably too complex for us.
You jumped the track.
I'll have to think about it tonight.
All right. That's good. You're thinking.
All this bullshit, and then Howard starts reading it. Listen, Howard
starts reading.
Yeah, it's dangerous when you start.
Yeah. If Howard wouldn't read,
one side. You read the New York Times.
And by the way, what is that whole dumb Rush Limbaugh rap? The New York Times is a rag. The New York Times is probably the greatest publication that I can think. What newspaper do you think is more informative?
The Wall Street Journal.
Rupert Murdoch's Wall Street Journal. You think there's no agenda?
It used to be a great
paper.
paper.
Slanted, right?
This is a guy around an organization that wiretapped people. How are you going to trust any of that?
That was in England.
It's his organization.
They don't do that here.
Holy cow. Nothing bothers him.
Well, he always has a rationale.
No, he has a blind
And by the way,
spot.
let's point out that Bloomberg, if I may, to Scott, he's an independent.
He was a Republican at one point, at least he claimed to be.
Yeah, but he's an independent, so you hardly would be voting.
Because Republicans got sick of him.
It's very funny, though. When he said he would vote for a Democrat, the Democrat would have to actually talk like a Republican.
Of course, because I'm conservative. That makes sense, doesn't it, Robin?
But what are you conservative in? I mean, you think you're conservative? Do you think the economy can be solved in a simplistic way? I mean, Bush did exactly what you're talking about for 8 years. There was a very simplistic approach.
Most of that time, we had a great economy.
Don't you think Bill Clinton...
Until it fell apart under the weight of all that bullshit they were doing.
Don't you think Bill Clinton's approach to the economy and a very sensible way of sort of being compassionate...
Oh, so Bill Clinton was sensible and compassionate.
I think
Bush
so.
Was just evil and out to make his rich friends richer. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, I think you just summed it up.
Yeah, all right, good.
I think Bush was...
I
I think Bush was a disaster as a president. I think. Let me ask you this, Scott. Why is it that Bush was not invited and Dick Cheney, your two heroes, why do you think the Republicans, A, didn't mention their name at the convention, and B, didn't invite them to speak? Bill Clinton, former president, invited to the DNC. Why do you think? Let me guess why.
Bill Clinton shunned the election before that because he had just got off of the.
His
Monica
wife
Lewinsky
ran.
Stuff.
No, his wife ran.
The Monica Lewinsky stuff. They were hiding Bill Clinton last time around.
That didn't affect anybody but him and his marriage.
You guys
Scott,
are just wrong.
why
Go
didn't the Republican Party invite your hero, who did a great job,
obviously
George
he's
Bush?
Damaged goods right now with the media and how they've
With the
dealt
media,
it.
you think the media? You mean the people did it? The media
Tell
ruined
me
it.
the policies that Bush did that gave us this economy right now. Go ahead.
He put us in the war in Iraq, an illegal war, and bankrupted the fucking country. How's that?
That did it. That bankrupted the country.
How much money do we spend?
Conservatives believe we wouldn't even have to pay for a war if we had one.
You just asked me for one example, and I just gave it.
No, I want the policies.
You don't think that's a big deal?
The policies domestically that he enacted that hurt our economy. Go ahead.
What do I think he did?
Yeah, you're telling me he was irresponsible.
I'm telling you that his simplistic approach to the economy, which was supposedly to cut taxes, which he didn't, which he didn't.
That hurt the economy, huh? Cutting taxes?
No,
it didn't help.
When you just cut taxes and you think that that's going to cure an economy, it doesn't. If you're under the impression that government doesn't, listen. What if we had no rules on Wall Street, which we practically don't? Do you see the abuses that have happened on Wall Street? Do you see the amount of people that have rip off? Do you see what happens when there's no regulatory committees and a Bernie Madoff just robs people blind, where they're busy investigating me instead of the fucking instead of a Bernie Madoff? This is what happens when there's no regulations in place. Less regulation. This is what happens. We have a government for a reason. People are corrupt. You do need government intervention.
Did Scott see the article in the paper about the fine that was just leveled against the stock market? Because it's proven they treat the fat cats better.
And I don't even understand what you're talking about when you say Bill Clinton wasn't at the DNC. He gave a speech for Al Gore. He gave a speech for Al Gore. He hit him. Where was George Bush at the Republican convention?
I just told you.
All right, good. Okay, all right. The media didn't invite him.
Why would the media have an effect on the Republican convention if he's part of that party and they thought he did a good job? Why wouldn't you invite him?
But Bush,
you're scared of the media?
And Bush was all over the place. What about Medicare? Right?
What about Medicare?
He doubled the size of Medicare after he cut taxes. So how did he cut taxes?
Both parties were courting the...
Oh, so now it's both parties. He was the president, but it was both parties.
We're trying to...
But he was the president, you motherfucker. I fucking hate you.
Every night the old...
You're such a retard.
You can't say Bush did something wrong. It's everybody did it then.
Listen to me.
All right. I had it.
Every night you heard on the news that the old people had to choose between their meals and their pills.
All right.
They had to take care of that.
You know, your head is glowing from being close to that equipment. You better move back. I don't want anything to happen to your brain.
But Scott doesn't think people should get sick anyway.
If people didn't get sick, we wouldn't.
They didn't get sick.
If we shot people,
you can't put words in my mouth.
Oh yeah. I think I heard somebody say something. Well, somebody got sick on this show. I'm not going to say who. Their parent got sick. And well, they should have thought about their future. They should have thought about their future before they got sick.
That he got really wrong. We were talking about Michael Moore's healthcare movie,
right?
And I just feel that yes, people do have some responsibility for their healthcare. It's not a right that you have.
So they plan to get sick. Is that it?
No.
So they're victimized twice. So they get sick, and then if guys like you say, no, you can't collect on an insurance policy.
Gary's dad was not sick, dying at the time, or at least it wasn't.
All right. I don't want to get into this. Okay, all right, enough.
Oh, so treat him when it's too late.
Yeah. Just open your mind up to other opinions. I'm not.
Don't you dare get sick in his America.
How could you not have voted for Bill Clinton if you were worried about the economy? The guy was doing a fabulous job. You're such a party zealot.
He's so blind.
You're so blind that you just only want to vote for Republicans. It's like you're a gang member.
Yeah, I don't care that something else is working. We have to have a conservative policy.
Do you watch Sons of Anarchy?
No.
Yeah, those guys, when they put on their patch, whatever the gang does is good. It doesn't even matter if they do something wrong. They have to stick by the rules.
Great analogy. You're going to talk about.
But that's how you. But that's how you are with it. You have a gang mentality. It doesn't matter.
I'm conservative.
Why didn't you vote for Bill Clinton? Honestly, the guy. I mean,
to be honest, I don't even know if I could vote at that point.
Of course you could.
What do you mean you?
How old was I?
You didn't have a hair on your head when Clinton was in office.
You didn't have a hair.
92.
How old are you?
How old were you?
I am 43.
It was 20 years ago. You could have voted for him in 92.
Right.
All right. Well, I don't know. I don't even know if I did vote that election, to be honest.
Oh,
but I wouldn't have voted for him because I loved Reagan, and I expected more to come out of that same policies that Bush did.
What was you?
He loved Reagan.
Yeah. So you got the VP talking the same stuff. You figure it's gonna. So I would think that would keep going the same.
But the second time you didn't vote for Clinton when he ran? Who did he even run against? I don't even remember who the Republican candidate was.
Dole, right?
Dole.
Yeah.
You voted for Dole. Clinton was running the country, doing a great fucking job. Talk about a CEO of a country. I mean, Clinton was nailing the fucking thing. You had to vote for Bob Dole?
Newsflash to you, I'm conservative.
Yeah, but
No,
Clinton
he's beyond
was
conservative.
Listen,
He's Tea Party now.
You know what? To say you're conservative is such a label. Like
it's a lazy cop out.
I'm conservative. I don't want No, I'm not. I don't want. I hate the waste in office that these guys allow. They allow for tremendous amount of government spending that is wasteful. I'm for tightening that up. I mean, I'm conservative in my own life. With my own money that I make, I'm very conservative. Since I started working for $96 a week, I always would never spend more than I made. Even at $96 a week, I always kept my own house in order. So when you say you're conservative, I'm not one of those flashy guys who runs around spending and living a life of debt. I don't have any debt.
No, I understand. That's not you.
And I expect the government.
You value social issues a lot more than I do.
Well, I certainly have compassion for people. I understand that I got breaks because I'm white, that black kids who grow up in impoverished neighborhoods deserve affirmative action. Absolutely. I believe in the fairness.
First they deserve an education, and then you won't have to waste money.
You grew up in a household with your father and mother who stressed education. How are we going to get out of this hole? Is it the kid's fault that his father split on him, that his mother is not there, his grandmother's raising him? I like giving a kid.
Any of this stuff.
Well, you say what is it you're against? Affirmative action. Are you for it or against it?
I think it had its place, and maybe
do you think it had?
I'm taking it off the table.
Well, yeah, you going to let me talk or not?
Well, are you for it or against it? It's a simple yes or no.
It's not a simple yes or no.
Of course it is.
No, it's not. It's not a simple.
All right, let me hear your answer. What about affirmative action?
I believe that it had its place, and at some point that you would need to end or start slowing down a policy like that, because what it does is it keeps people in their place.
Do you think things have improved?
I got a job because of my color and not because of my skill. Well, I believe that would not be a great thing.
Let me ask you something. Do you think it helps the entire country if impoverished people, I'm talking about children, who are raised in...
Affirmative action is
listen
not
to me.
Impoverished people.
Sure it is. It's for impoverished people.
Oh,
that's why it was set up. What do you think? It's for the
most
rich?
Most blacks are fine. Most
let's say it's a white kid.
You're equating impoverished people with black people.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's say.
Do you know that most unions
would not allow black people in the they couldn't even get jobs within unions for construction and things. So you know what they did with affirmative action? They said, you know what? We're going to force you. We're going to force you, Whitey, to put a few black people on and learn to work with people.
And Scott's premise is that if you are working under affirmative action, you can't do the job. Which is another misconception.
That's not what I said, Robin. Don't put words in my mouth.
You said if I was hired because I was black instead of my skill level.
I said exactly opposite of that. I would want to win a job on my merits, not...
Sometimes
you can't. And if you can't because you're black...
Well, that's not true. I don't believe the country's racist like you do.
Stop it. You don't think the system was rigged in the unions against some black people?
Was. I think we've come a long way.
And still is. There's an article in the paper today about a North Carolina sheriff they proved was discriminating against a criminal.
God, okay, one case here and there. That doesn't mean the whole country is racist.
No, that's tip of the iceberg, fella.
You can't even get it. Your hands are shaking like a leaf.
My hands always shake.
Wow.
Especially when we're yelling at you.
Don't get sick.
Yeah, they do.
It's okay. All right, Scott, look, I love you. I don't want to talk politics with you anymore.
Good. Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, you just...
We can't.
I think he got hit in the head. I think he fell on his head.
That's how he lost his hair.
Look, I am a fiscal conservative. I don't like waste and government waste.
See,
no one does.
I think Scott likes to use that because he doesn't have any other strategy.
But that's
he tries to
exactly
use
what
the social
conservatives do.
issue. So you don't think that corporate welfare is a bad thing, right? When companies get
are we talking to me again? I wasn't listening.
tax breaks.
No.
Oh, good.
Sorry.
Of course, this idea that these companies get corporate tax breaks, it's unbelievable.
I think the thing that bothers me, and I don't know if Scott can agree with this or disagree with this, but when we outsource jobs and we create no new industries over here, and yet these guys continue to get tax breaks, he doesn't have a problem with that.
What about these American
There's no
companies?
middle class. The middle class is disappearing, but the only people who are thriving are the 1% at the top? That's not a problem?
So Romney is that guy, Fred? Is that what you're saying?
What about these companies?
To outsource all these jobs?
Romney's a job destroyer.
A lot of businesses are not just Romney. Look at guys like Carnegie who created an industry. Look at guys like Henry Ford who created an industry. These guys don't create an industry; they just create wealth for themselves.
Here's an ad that I think Scott will agree with. Let me find it. I'm going to find it for you. Here's something you'll like.
My daddy says Mitt Romney doesn't support guys putting their pee-pees in other guys' butts. So he's voting for Romney.
I'm Mitt Romney, and I approve this message.
I agree with that.
There you go. Well, yes.
Howard, read the article Scott posted.
Like that.
What?
Read that article that Scott
Well, I can't do it now.
No, I mean, I don't mean right this second.
Why,
I mean,
what does it say?
It's so idiotic. I mean, it really is. Fred put one
You're
up
the
from...
idiot.
I know. Fred's the one... he put up one from CNN that kind of countered some of Taibbi's points. And they made legitimate points, but the article Scott put up is almost 99% opinion, and it's just him screaming at Taibbi's a communist, Taibbi's a liberal, Taibbi's this, but there's no actual...
Well, that's what Scott likes to do.
I read the entire thing last night.
It's a gang mentality.
But if you read
exactly how Scott argued.
There's almost no instance where he said...
He doesn't have any facts in the article.
Yes.
Right.
Almost
There's
none.
plenty of facts in the article. That only 22% of Bain's companies went under. Sorry, I'm trying to do two jobs at once. I'm trying to switch the show and argue with you.
Well, you understand there's Bain.
22% of Bain's companies that they took over, which were all failing companies, actually went under. I think that's a pretty strong track record, not a bad one.
All right.
Okay.
How many jobs did they cut, though, in saving those others?
It took
company cuts jobs. In the article, they talk about how many jobs.
It took them 20 pages to get to that one. I've never read an article so long that said absolutely nothing. But I encourage you to read it, and I encourage you to read the one
I told Scott
Fred put out.
Yeah. I will read it today.
Please send them to me, too. I'd love
I'm going to send that to you as soon as I ignore it.
I hate you.
Jason. See, now you have to hate us. We don't hate you.
No,
I hate him.
I feel sorry for you.
It's Jason. He's a douchebag. Somewhere along the line, that guy got a shit hand in life, and now he's fucking miserable.
What?
Jason didn't say anything very different than what Howard said. He gave a picture of me in the monitor, the finger, Gary.
Wow.
Might be because you called him a jerk off when he walked in.
It's just, for me, Romney's one of those guys who went out and protested. He not protested, but he actually went out and I guess protested in favor of the Vietnam War.
He protested the protesters, and yet he got four
and then he
deferments.
fled to France to avoid the draft.
Another guy who didn't go.
Right.
I mean, don't go out.
Because I don't have to go. I'm all for the war.
He's for the Vietnam War, but he wasn't willing to serve.
Obama do.
Well, Obama wasn't around for the Vietnam War.
For anything
I think he might have been a little young for that.
Yeah. What did Obama do? Are you out of your mind?
Obama didn't run around preaching he's for the war and then not fight.
He's been pretty consistent about how he feels about things.
Yeah, he basically continued Bush's policy of ending the war in Iraq.
You just read that the other day.
I didn't read that.
Yes, you did.
In the New York Times.
I wouldn't read that in the New York Times.
Oh, my God. You're just fucking amazing. No, when you see a guy who, I mean, during Vietnam, I protested against the war. You know why?
Because you might have gone.
Yeah, I didn't want to go.
Even his father.
I would not have gone. I saw that the war was retarded.
Even Romney's father at one point said that he was brainwashed about the whole thing.
But Romney goes out and not only doesn't show, he says the war is a good thing and then avoids the draft. Fuck you.
That's when you want to take the person's protest sign and hit them.
Yeah, you go fight the war.
Go fight if you really believe in it.
And that's who Romney is as a human being. That's who your president will be. He keeps trying to pretend that he has compassion for others, but he does not.
And his answer to everything, go bankrupt.
Anyway, listen, we're supposed to be talking about dick jokes and stuff.
Right. Yeah, what are we doing?
And farting.
And Bill Hader.
And Bill Hader.
And how I want to meet him.
You're going to meet him. I'm going to set you up.
What's up, Greg?
Scott, once again, you get sucked into the Stern Show Political Forum.
It's this time of year, man. It's election season. And I wish I had it in me to just sit back and not say a word, but that's not my nature. I've got to let them know when they've said things that are inaccurate, and there's been a lot of that recently.
What compels you, though? What do they say about conservative politics, or what about their liberal slant gets you so riled up that you can't just ignore it?
It's the usual stuff, that conservatives are heartless and we want everyone to die, we're just out for the rich, and it's that same old crap that just isn't true. Conservatives want this country to be successful just as much as liberals do. It's just a different way to get there.
Was there ever a time in our political history or in your career here with the Stern Show that you felt yourself aligning with Howard's beliefs?
Yeah, I think in the past, Howard was definitely more conservative. Something happened to him over the past 5-10 years. Maybe it's marriage, maybe it's, I don't know, but his views have changed without a doubt. I'm sure he'll say that, he's been enlightened or he's been reading some more, but he was definitely much more, he fell in line a lot more with my views than they do now, and that's fine. He's always been socially, I would say he was a libertarian in the past, and now he comes off, he wouldn't admit to this, but I would say he's a liberal. And, I'm more libertarian in that I don't care about the social issues, I care about the fiscal issues.
Do you think you're being hard-headed in that you refuse to disassociate yourself with the Republican Party, that you're not really voting for the man but for the party itself?
Well, what's interesting is around here they call me, I'm the sheep who just follows the Republican Party. But it's odd. I would think if I was the sheep, I'd follow what Howard said or the rest of these goof-offs said. I've got my own opinions that I don't know, where they came from. I think they come from pure logic, but I'm sure people would argue that that's my surroundings or how I grew up. But I am who I am, and I believe it, and it's the equivalent of someone telling me 2 + 2 is 5. It just doesn't make sense, and it's who I am.
At the end of these arguments, Howard always says, I love you, Scott, but I can't talk politics with you. It gets a little bit personal, but it seems like you guys are still on good terms. Do you ever get to the point where you're just like, it becomes almost personal with your feelings, or with you get so heated that you can't look past the man? I know it's gotten that way with Jason, obviously. But
that's what I was going to say. I think there are only 2 people here whose politics, maybe a third, Gary, Jason, maybe Fred, are, I believe, that the type of people who take politics or my view and decide that I'm a bad person because of it. I don't think Howard's that, and I don't think Robin's that. But yeah, some of the arguments I do sort of get concerned. I better watch what I say. But
Howard's always been pretty cool about that. He's not a type of guy who says, I'm going to tell you guys how to think, and if you don't, you're out. He's always been, he wants us to be free. So until I hear otherwise, I'm going to say what I believe, and that's that. If it becomes a problem, I'll just find a way to shut up.
This is the best of the wrap-up show. A recap and behind-the-scenes look with John High and Gary Dell'Abate. The best of the wrap-up show begins now.
Hey, it's Gary Dell'Abate. On Monday's wrap-up show, we talked about Shuley sitting in, how we thought he was doing. Did the audience like him? I know I liked him. Here's how it went.
Let's go to Kim in Philadelphia. Kim, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hi there. How are you?
Good, Kim. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. I just wanted to say I caught the show a little later today, but I heard Shuley, and was he in for someone, or
Shuley sat in for the entire show, right next to Benji.
So is that going to be a permanent place for him, or?
I don't know. Gary will have to answer that question. I don't think it is. I think it's something that the guys wanted to try to see how it went. But I see Gary coming in. He can answer your question. Gary, the question here from Kim is Shuley sitting in permanently, or is it something that you just wanted to try out?
To the best of my knowledge, it's something that we're trying out. We don't commit to anything.
He is awesome on the show. I mean, he seemed like he was a little nervous today. Usually he's a little more forthcoming, but he was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he brings, I always say it's a marathon, not a sprint. So a lot of people can sound great the first day, and then after a month, you're like, oh my God, I'm sick of that person. So that's why we like to try people out. I think Shuley's very funny, and he brings an element to the show today, which John witnessed before the show even started, which is him. He was busting my balls. I played a clip for Howard, and he already started busting my balls and cracking jokes. I said, oh my God, Jackie lives again.
But Shuley wasn't sure if he did the right thing, because I know he was thinking, did I piss off Gary?
But did you miss the conversation during one of the breaks?
No, I heard it. I know exactly what you said.
And he said to me, he goes, listen, I'm really sorry. I said, don't be sorry. That's your job. I go, your job. I go, I can get mad at you, which I was, but it doesn't mean you should stop fucking with me. That's your job.
Jay in Phoenix, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hello, is this for me?
Yes, Jay, it's for you.
Hey, sorry, man. I'm packing up a bowl right now. I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning, guys. And I was really pleased to hear Shuley on there, man. Congratulations, bro. It's been a long time overdue. I'm kind of wondering what happened with Benji since, I really don't give a shit, but, I'm just kind of wondering what caused him not to be on there. And
he is on. Benji was on this morning. In other words, Benji's in the studio every morning. Benji's probably less of an on-mic guy and more of a writer guy, but Benji was there.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I've been smoking, so I really didn't catch all that. But you know what? No Shuley vortex, man. It was good. And even with the way he does the block parties and stuff, he's a very intricate part of a buffer for the fans to the show. So I think him being in there was way better than Benji. With the little world he lives in.
Benji, before you came in here, a couple people were calling about Shuley sitting in, and somebody thought you weren't even there today.
Oh, really?
But we explained how you're kind of more off mic and right versus Shuley being on mic today.
I had a great writing, lots and lots of stuff.
But is it okay to talk about how things happened this morning, or do you not want to talk about that?
That's forbidden.
No, seriously.
What do you mean? Yeah. I mean, you can talk about anything.
Okay,
I'm fine with.
So Benji really had a close call this morning, and the close call was Benji was really, for all intents and purposes this morning, was late. And the show would have started. But what happened was Tim came in. Like, Fred was playing the song. Fred goes, "You're on." And then somebody gives me the elbow and points to Benji's chair. And Benji's chair is empty. Benji is not there. And I go to Howard. I point to the chair. And he goes, "Oh, fuck." And then Tim came in. And Tim was talking about the black iPhone and the white iPhone and everything. And that was probably 30 seconds. And within that 30 seconds, Benji came in. But had Tim not been there, you were done.
But as you've seen, like, I've been coming in, like, with, early.
But that's like Sal saying saying he only forgot the meeting.
I totally fucking lucked out with that Tim got 2 iPhones. Thank God. But it was like, I'm telling you, there was like something crazy going on the east side where they locked you up in a lane and everything.
I know exactly what it is.
Yeah, the UN stuff.
UN's here.
And it sucks, and I should have realized it, and I lucked out.
But like, so just if I could dissect this a little bit, if nothing's going wrong, what time do you usually get here?
I think usually now, not always, but usually I'm getting here in time when you guys are talking.
But what
time? At least 10, 15 minutes early, or before the show starts.
Because I'm in there with Howard by generally by 5:30.
Oh, no, I'm not like between like 5:15 and 5, like a little.
You mean 5:50?
Yeah, no, I said I'm sorry, 5:45 and a little past 5:50 usually. I mean, I'm seeing you usually see me there now.
Generally, yes.
I mean, I was really worried for you because if Tim doesn't do that, it's a whole different day. And Shuli's sitting there, and it's almost like
it's almost like we set it up, but we didn't.
Yes. Yeah. You were kind of asking for it, I guess, unintentionally.
Yeah. No, I'm going to go with more padding in the future. Like
that was the conversation I was going to have with you off the air. You really, there's no good reason why you shouldn't be shooting to be there by 5:30 because.
Gives you padding, yeah.
No, not only are you padding, but I'm in there by 5:35. That's probably the average. I'm in there by 5:35. And there's no good reason why you shouldn't be in there hearing what we're talking about and saying, "Oh, here's what you should do with that," or you know what I mean?
How is the dynamic between the three of you, Fred, and Shuli back there?
Here's Shuli. There, it was. I think everyone's comfortable. It's like. It's not the same as if like someone comes in completely from the outside because everyone knows Shuli well. So it's not so like it's not like an awkward kind of thing.
Well, let me throw this at you because you've been on the other side of this and you understood your intentions. When you sat in the studio with Jackie, he did not like it, and you were not an outsider. So when Shuli, who's not an outsider, comes in today, how does that make you feel?
When you first mentioned it to me the other day, for a second I have all kinds of like insecurities. And like I guess some jealousies and things like that, some like dry skin, things like that. But like pretty quickly, like first of all I realized like I'm not in control here at all, and it's a good reminder, not in a negative way like Shuli's out to get, but it's a good reminder that I have very little control over what happens in that kind of sense. But I'm kind of invisible as it is. I had a great fucking writing day. Like today was a very some days are stronger than others. Today was boom, boom, boom. Like a lot of really good stuff that I was proud of. But I'm the only one that knows that. So
right.
and it doesn't really make a difference. If Shuli's in there and he's adding to it and Howard likes it, it doesn't change what my function is anyway.
I agree with you, but it's hard for most people to be that mature about it. But I do agree with you 100%. Shuli being in there today had nothing to do with you. Howard just thought it might be fun to have, an extra voice in there. And I wasn't even sure that Shuli was coming in as a voice at all today. Quite honestly, Shuli was coming in, I thought, as a writer. But then sometimes it's organic.
It was told to me in different ways. First I was going in just to write, and it was like, maybe he'll talk to you, maybe he won't. Then it was like, all right, you're going to be more in a talking role than writing. And I got to tell you, watching Benji, I mean, he really is, like he said, he's invisible. People don't realize how much shit he puts out there. He's like a machine with that stuff.
He's like an NFL lineman. The guy's going to score a bunch of touchdowns, and no one's ever going to say the right guard did a great job.
Right. And I told him, I was like, it was really impressive to watch him crank that stuff. Like I wrote 5 things today, and he's just the whole time. What was so surreal for me about today is like my first real successful call to the show was one when I put together a Gary game. The first game I ever put together, where I took fights between Gary and Howard, and I would take one line out of these fights that Gary said that pissed Howard off, and then make up 2 other ones and ask Howard to pick the real one. And it got off to that. My career with this show got off because of Gary and kind of goofing on him. And literally before the mics were even on this morning, I pissed Gary off goofing on him.
But I told you that you should just keep doing it. You could piss me off. Mary and I were having a conversation the other day about the growing number of people who are on the show who made their bones fucking with me.
Right. Sal.
So
Sal started, then Shuli second, and now Wolfie is a contributor to the show, and Wolfie used to mess with me a lot too.
So that's the path to success here? Just goofing on you?
I guess. I mean, I will tell you the weirdest moment I ever had was when Sal and I were in the smoking room at K-Rock when he was doing the contest, and I was like, I said, we're there talking, he's doing this, doing that. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm helping you and pulling for you. but I was. It's my job.
Mark in Los Angeles, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing?
Hey, Mark.
I just wanted to say, I've been a long-time listener, been almost 30 years, and Benji is I think, that the one thing that we don't realize about Benji is how much he really gives the show. We never hear him. So, I was really happy to hear Shuli pipe up this morning and say, Benji is just cranking shit out nonstop. And, and I've always liked Benji. He annoys the shit out of me when he's late for work. But it's fun when his balls get busted. So it's a catch-22.
Yeah, Benji's not really an on-air guy, so the only time you hear Benji on air
is when he's in trouble.
Which again, like an NFL lineman, the only time you hear him is when the flag is thrown.
But isn't that the case for everybody? I mean, people love you, but they love hearing you get your balls busted. But
I'm saying that you don't. If Benji doesn't get his balls busted,
right,
then Benji's just quietly in the back doing what he was hired to do and doing it very well.
Yeah.
But what I do love is that when Howard just asks him a question once in a while, and his answer is so ridiculously outrageous, he gets his balls busted because he's just answering.
But he's very outrageous. I was talking to Howard about Benji the other day, and I said the thing that I love about Benji, I love when we're in a meeting and there's ideas are being thrown around, and Benji comes up with an idea that is so ridiculously outrageous that I get almost dismissive of it. I feel bad, and Howard goes, well, hold on a second, and Howard reaches in and finds this crumb from that idea that works, and I think that's why Howard loves Benji being the guy who's so out in left field, but you can find something in that idea and make it work. Do you agree, Benj?
I appreciate all you said. Thank you.
Hey, this is Jason, and on Tuesday's wrap-up show, we had the follow-up to Sour Shoes coming in his pants. Lisa G just touched him on the shoulder, and he blew his load, so we hear from Lisa and Sour Shoes about that. Also, my fight with JD continues, and Benji throws himself in the ring. Check it out.
Lisa, when you walked over to Sour Shoes, could you tell that he was getting excited as you started to rub him a little bit?
Well, even before I walked over there, because he said that he has a crush on me. So, like I was telling Greg Carmel, I knew what I was dealing with before I even walked over there, and I knew I wouldn't have to do a lot to get him excited.
And you had no
So don't give me so much credit.
No,
really.
No, you deserve the credit. I mean, you actually got him to deliver. But did you have any second thoughts as you were crossing over? Were you worried that there was going to be repercussions from this, or?
No, I thought that it was going to be okay. And I was also reading Howard. I was looking at his face, and I just felt it was an okay thing to do. Wouldn't be so bad.
Sour Shoes, have you always had a crush on Lisa G?
Yeah.
And so was this a dream come true as she walked over to you?
Mm-hmm.
Did you think you were going to last as long as you did?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be fast.
And
I knew it was going to be fast.
See, Gary, don't you think there's a little bit of chemistry between these two?
Well, certainly for him there is. For Lisa, I think Lisa finds him sweet. Yes. I would say would be the word.
I've heard Lisa describe what she's looking for in a guy before, both on the air and off the air. And one of the things she constantly says is, I don't want a guy I have to take care of. She wants a man. And unfortunately, I think Sour would be a guy you got to take care of.
Well, that's the thing. He comes into the newsroom, Gary, and he's talking like he's, 33, and then all of a sudden he pulls out the mitt and the glove, and he's a 5-year-old.
Well, are you morally against the idea of dating a guy who lives with his parents?
Yes.
What if his parents live in an awesome house?
I mean, if he's supporting his parents, that's another story.
How long have you had the first baseman's glove?
It was my older brother's first.
And which signature's on it? Is it Ed Kranepool?
Yeah.
Of course.
I have an Ed Kranepool signature.
John, what do you want to ask?
I'll never forget seeing Sour in his house in the attic There's a low ceiling, and he's like hunched over, staring out the window, like looking out onto the pool and the landscape, and he's talking about Lisa G. Just talk
Really?
in a normal voice. Yeah, we did a piece on it when I was out there. Do you remember that? Like leaning over, peering out of the short attic.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like you were in love with her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you want to get married?
Yeah.
Sour, what's your favorite voice to do of all the impressions that you do?
Gary, because
That's the greatest. Oh, I love
Gary,
that.
I was hoping you would say Mad Dog because it's so dead on.
Your
That's all I
Mad
love.
Dog is the best.
But it's
ever,
Gary
Sour.
because like the way Sal is to Howard, that's how I've been. You know.
No, I think Gary loves you.
Yeah, no, I like you. I think you're amusing and funny and everything.
I think he's actually funny at there's certain things he does, like when someone's on the phone. Like about 10 years ago, you said, I think it'd be great if we could, we have callers that call in. Wouldn't it be great to see like their whole setup, what it would be like? You remember saying that about?
Maybe.
Yeah, and like things like that, I always laugh. Or when he goes, wait, I what do you do for a living?
Can you do an impression of Gary cutting off Mary to talk to Howard?
Oh, that's
so Howard.
Does Gary have the move when he cuts off?
A go-to move?
Yeah, I'll be talking.
Right.
Hey Howard, one time Gary and I went to the Cayman Islands and
real quick.
What? No,
real quick.
All right,
real quick.
All right, forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's discouraging.
Chris in Albany.
Jason, I would warn you not to piss off the one person left in the office who likes you.
Oh, we'll get to that. Chris in Albany, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey now.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, I just wanted to say I love Sour Shoes. I could have him 2 or 3 times a week. Everything he does makes me laugh so hard. He's very underused in that show, in my opinion. But I wish he had more shows like the music shows and whatnot. But right on for him today.
Hey, we agree with you. We think he's fantastic.
You don't think it gets played out though after a while?
No, I was enjoying it.
Did you feel that way when you were in there?
Yeah, like if I listen back later on tonight, I'll say probably a little too much.
So as you're sitting there, are you kind of picking your spots in your head, like when you should pipe in?
As if when I'm listening and what I want to hear.
Hey, by the way, I pointed this out to Howard during a break, and we couldn't really squeeze it in. Who was the caller today from Chicago?
Nick? Was it Nick in Chicago?
No, the voice the one you said who was on the phone.
Was it Ray Romano?
No, Jason.
No.
Do you remember John?
Yeah, you said it was Walter Parasitor from Chicago.
Oh yeah, that's
so tell him what that means.
He's the brass player in the band.
He's one of the founding members of the band Chicago.
So
He's
that's
actually the guy that plays the flute on Color My World. I thought it was like a second baseman for the Chicago Cubs. It's actually the guy from Chicago.
That's one of the most amazing things I think about you. There's so many references that you tuck into your impressions, and I think people miss a lot of them, like that. Like who would know who Walter Parasitor is?
But that's the only way he would pick up if I just kept coming up the gamut of different celebrity names.
I have to tell you something. He calls all the time and leaves messages, and he'll call as a bunch of ex-Mets,
Secretary of State Schultz,
or he'll call as a bunch of
politicians,
like sort of 60s and 70s musicians, but sort of. So, do you know who called the other day? And what my first inclination was that it was Sour Shoes.
Oh yeah,
Keith Emerson from Emerson, Lake and Palmer, but it actually was Keith Emerson. But I would have bet the farmer was Sour Shoes. That would be a name he would call us.
Do you enjoy playing that game with Gary? You
I
guys
do,
have been doing it for a
as soon
long
as he goes,
time.
hey, how can I help you? I go,
All right, here's
going.
the big question: who knows who's better at the music trivia?
Oh, he is.
He is.
I think you are, Sour.
He is.
One thing I always said about how I'm amazed how he gets them. It's over the phone and how he can pick out what songs they are.
Yeah, Gary, you're incredible at it, but I think Sour's got you beat. Not by a lot, but by a little bit.
The only thing that's tough with Sour Shoes is sometimes some of the songs that he does that are a little bit more obscure, his arrangements aren't always there for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he can do almost anything you throw at him.
Now, when you realized you weren't going to make it here on time this morning, were you freaking out? How were you dealing with that?
I was because it was actually the car overheating. So, but I had 3 extra antifreeze jugs and some bars leak repair. So my dad always showed me how to throw that in and then put it over.
By the way, I saw this in the notes, and I don't know if we got a chance to talk about it today, but I think I heard that Sour Shoes' parents were hoping that today's appearance could result in him getting a voiceover job, because he has done some voiceover for some other stuff. But I think now that I'm a parent, I think they're getting to that place where they want to know that you're well taken care of when they go. Do you think they worry about you?
I think a little bit.
Did they have a good insurance plan?
Well, I got a question.
His dad.
I have a question when you get a chance.
So go ahead, Ronnie. You already piped in, so go ahead.
I got a question. Do your parents worry when you leave the house with that car? Do they get?
They used to.
Do they call and check up on you, where you are, and everything?
They did at school. They worried because I was staying at the school in the car.
Right.
They worried, but I would always come home on weekends, and the car wasn't as good then.
Why did you have to? I mean, your parents obviously take care of you. Why did you have to sleep in the car?
Because I didn't get financial aid.
Oh, okay.
So I was trying to.
And Sauer's dad is an elected official, was for 25 years in their town. I mean, his dad is a big deal in Mahopac.
Similar to Parks and Recreation.
Yeah.
Do you have a cell phone?
No, not yet.
Have you ever had one?
Yeah, the family I do the direct care for Autism Speaks, they have a track phone. And
Right.
if there's a storm, they give it to me. And they gave it to me for the block party.
Wow.
And I used it to call Shuli to tell him where I was.
But like now, I mean, you're out now. They have no way of communicating
just
with you
calling
to
here.
find out if you're all right or alive.
It's like the 70s all over again.
Logan in Washington, you're on the wrap-up show.
What's that?
Hey, you're on the wrap-up show, Logan.
Oh, hey, John, big fan. Hey, my question is in regards to Jason. Jason, do you worry about what is going to happen after the show gets off the air as far as how you get along with the people in your office?
No.
And how that's going to translate into another job? Because you seem to antagonize a lot of people to benefit the show.
Yeah.
But
Well, okay. Are you going to let me answer? Or are you going to keep talking?
Oh, well, I have another quick question.
Well, hold on. Let me answer the first question, and you can ask the second question.
I'll keep you on, Logan.
The answer is no, not at all. First of all, I get along with a vast majority of my coworkers all the time. Like any other workplace, especially a workplace where you talk about everything on the air, sometimes you have issues with people, and most of them get worked through. And actually, I feel more secure in my position here and in my future than I ever have before. So the answer is no.
Okay. I don't work there, and I don't know. This is just the impression you get off of the radio.
No, I know. It's because what happens is you only hear the negative stuff. You only hear when things are going fine. That doesn't make the air. When there are fights, this is certainly not the first time JD and I have butted heads.
Well, and that was something I was very surprised to hear. I'm in the office,
Right.
and I know both guys really well. And when Howard said on the air, "Oh, there's a new feud," like 5 people in the office go, "It's not new at all."
No.
And I did not know. I mean, I didn't think they were best friends, but I didn't know there was a bit of a feud that's been going on for how long?
And I will talk, and then I will shut up and let JD say whatever he has to say. JD doesn't like me, and it's been a long. I said this I think a few months ago. It's been a long time coming for me to realize that. Meaning, first he used to blow up at me, and I'd be like, "Whatever, we're friends. This is meaningless." Then he used to blow up at me, and I was like, "Oh fuck, why is he singling me out? Why do I seem to bother him so much?" Now it's gotten to the point where I'm just like, "No, he flat out doesn't like me." Ronnie seemed to have no problem with what I said about the block party. Shuli certainly seemed to have no problem with what I said about the block party. JD has an issue with me that goes way outside what I said to the news yesterday. He just doesn't like me. It's a one-sided feud, though, because aside from being annoyed by the fact that JD doesn't like me, I have no ill will towards him. I am now done talking.
JD, step to the mic, please. What do you say? What, as Oprah says?
I mean, I really have nothing to say. I really don't. It's an uphill battle fighting with Jason because, especially with me, because I can't state my points so clear all the time, and he's smarter than me. He's able to verbalize it better too, and that's I try. I had a weak moment yesterday where I spouted a little too much than I should have, and that's basically where we are today.
Yes or no answer? Yes or no answer?
Yes.
Do you like Jason?
I like Jason more outside of the office more than inside the office.
So is Jason incorrect when he says JD does not like me?
I tend, at moments like this, I tend to just hate everything about Jason.
So when do you like him?
Whenever he's not involved with me, whenever he's not necessarily focused, whenever he's not really trying to fuck me over or, shit like that.
But Jason brings up an interesting point. Like, a lot of people break balls. What's different about Jason breaking your balls?
This wasn't busting balls. This was almost like I was, he was stating how, well, first of all, as a friend, if he had like such this important case or whatever, he would have came off to me off the air and said, this, that, maybe you shouldn't do this, whatever. But instead, hold on. Instead, he went right to the news and talked. And in fact, while I was in the office, I had to speak so loudly to explain his case so I could overhear it. and that that was a little more.
But I think from what I'm getting from both of you, it's pretty clear that you're not friends.
I mean, do we hang out all the time? No, I mean, we hang out in certain circles because we just happen to be invited to the same
I
thing.
would say definitively that I do not believe JD and I are friends. And I'm not saying that because I don't like JD. That's not true. I like JD, but I wouldn't. There's nothing that happens in our relationship that could be classified as friendly at this point.
Are you friends? And friends aren't just two people who hang out in the same circle of friends.
Right.
Are you friends? Would you ever call him to go out? Would he ever call you to go out?
I used to.
Yeah, I mean, he used to. I don't really call anyone to go out hardly.
But when was the last time? When was the last time you guys hung out because one of you said to the other, "Let's go do something"?
I don't think that's been for a while.
If Jason was getting beat up on the street, would you laugh or just walk away?
No,
I would suggest you walk away. I'm just saying, not because you can't beat someone up. Like, I would walk away from you being beat up or anybody being beat up.
Well, I would try and do something at least to help.
You're a better guy than me.
There are two issues, I think, with Jason. One is I think everybody has gotten into a tiff with Jason at one time or another.
Yeah.
But everybody, well, I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people fear getting into it with him on the air because he's excellent at arguing on the air, and he'll cut people apart in 3 seconds.
I don't think it's fear, at least not with me. I think he will do things in a devious way that other people might not do.
That may be a little part, but you heard him in there today. I mean, he's excellent when it comes to
that.
But the second,
what are these devious things,
let me finish my point. But the second thing, which I think is irksome, and he knows it is, he relishes in you getting pissed off.
Yeah.
He laughs, he tweaks you, he wants to see you get worked up, and that can be very annoying if you're annoyed at him.
In fact, today off the air after the bit, or whatever the hell it was. After we were on air, he went over to the Howard TV.
No,
camera.
Howard TV cameras came up to me. But you always you say I go. Howard TV cameras came up to me.
That's what I'm saying. I was saying he was speaking with the Howard TV camera.
Yes.
Are we going off the air?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, and I got to get my plug in, so hurry up.
Speaking with the Howard TV camera, saying how I'm an air whore and this and that, trying to irk me, and Well,
it was right after we walked out of the studio, and they asked me about the fight. So yeah. You accused me of being an air whore, so I called you an air whore.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and we both know who's.
And I'll talk to Benji about this devious stuff.
Well,
he
I'll
says
just give an example.
If you're here at work on time tomorrow, maybe you and I can have a face-to-face before the show.
I'll give you an example if you let me answer.
We're almost out of time.
Right now, you said I called you an air whore because you called me an air whore. So
how's that devious?
So because you're saying I did it just because you called me that.
No,
that's why I made
think
that
he's
up
an air
about
whore.
you.
That's not devious. Benji, come to work 15 minutes early tomorrow. We could have a quick meeting. Try not to let Shuli steal your job.
Whoa!
Whoa!
No, I'll give you another.
That wasn't a coincidence yesterday,
At his
Benji.
finest. That's Jason at his finest.
That wasn't a coincidence.
What wasn't a coincidence?
10 seconds.
No, I'll give you another example. You exaggerate and make things up to make someone else look
It's
bad.
much funnier when Shuli says it.
Oh, Jesus.
On Wednesday's wrap-up show, all the talk was about the tough love that Gary got on his Nerdist show from Howard. Howard laid into him pretty strongly and said he was just giving him advice on how to improve the show, but Gary's feelings were hurt a little bit, and he says he kind of knew what Howard was going to say beforehand. Of course, we talked about it, and here's how it all went down.
We should probably start off with Gary and the Nerdist show. I know how much the show means to Gary. He works really hard on it, and he's trying to make it great. And, of course, he values Howard's opinion more than anyone else. But to get Howard's feedback in that way, where Howard says it's the worst thing he's ever seen, and after 2 minutes he couldn't watch it and really ripped into him, Gary's got a thick skin, but I know that's got to get to him, and he's working on improving the show. But Howard was telling him nobody's going to watch the show if it starts there. So we need to... I wonder how Gary's going to handle that, and if Howard said something to him off the air to make him feel any better. But it's tough because when you're doing a project like that, you work your ass off on it, and you write the script, and you do it. You want Howard to talk about it, but you want him to talk about it hopefully in a positive way. And if he's negative about it, well, maybe it's like a couple comments and then you move on. But Gary, you pretty much got your ass handed to you today.
Yeah, and I wasn't surprised. I pulled John, I should give you the chronology how it all goes down. I sent Howard the link yesterday. Wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it, how he was going to feel about it. I go in and present all my stuff this morning, and Howard goes to JD, what do you got for me? And he goes, JD, page 2, and Gary's Nerdist program. So we walk out the door, and I said to JD, did Howard ask you to put that up? And he just goes, yeah. So he's all embarrassed now. So now I know it's on the table. And I pulled John and I said, John, aside from the fact that he's going to make fun of me for reading badly and all that other stuff, what else, do I wanted to see if there were other things that I didn't see coming my way. And John goes, no, but, it's a bad day. You picked the wrong day because there's nobody on the show today. And so I was as prepared as I could be.
And you had gotten feedback on, the toughest thing to do is look at a camera and read a script and look natural doing it.
Even John said to me yesterday or the day before, he's like, listen, I think you'd be better if you were just being more natural. And there's a lot of reasons that I'll explain to you off the air. I mean, I tried to do that. It wasn't working. But I do want to go back to that. I've even with the one I shot yesterday, I shoot the week before they air. So even with the one I shot yesterday, I think I've gone more that way and the ones I shoot in the future. So when Howard said, you're reading, I was not, I agree with him, and I agree that it doesn't look great. And I look online, if you go underneath, it's on YouTube, and the comments like, what's wrong with your fucking neck? Let's see, here's some of the comments, and it's, you really put when you're on camera alone, you really put yourself out there. You look like an ape. The first show was, how come your shirt's open so big, you hairy-chested fucking monkey? Why do you keep tilting your head back? You're a fucking loser. If Howard saw this, he would be, he would, I can't believe Howard allows this shit quality to go out. So you get a lot of that. But I also am getting some positive feedback on the content. And that's where I took a little bit more issue with him today.
And seeing those comments on there, you kind of knew what to expect when Howard, because he basically reeled a lot of those off today in critiquing your show.
Right.
Adam in Houston, you're on the wrap-up show.
Yeah, I want to know, Gary. Howard's always dogging you out, but I know that you guys are very, very close. I'm assuming, off the air, he talks about how he has you at his house at times. How many times has he dogged you on the air, but off the air, pulled you aside and said, hey, that was for the show? Does that happen?
No. And I don't think, there's no part of me that thinks that Howard watched it yesterday and loved it, but thought it would be funny to make fun of it. He didn't like it.
So there's never been a moment where, because, obviously, you guys are working together, but, as friends, that's got to get you sometimes, right? Have you ever pulled him aside off the air and said, hey, man, I'm really trying with this. I'd appreciate a little, going a little lighter.
Once.
Tell me about that.
It was after I got dumped by my girlfriend that I wrote about in the book, and I was really depressed when we were in the bathroom. I was like, we were in the bathroom, and I remember we were washing our hands, and I was like, dude, man, it's just a tough time. If you could just lay it off a little bit. He goes, shut up.
My favorite.
Or is it get over it or something like that?
My favorite one was, you've told before that your mom called his mom to tell him to stop picking on you.
Yeah, and he felt bad about that. I was surprised. But
yeah, if you listen to the show, that's the move that you never want to make because you're just bringing it on 30 times worse. You can't ever show that something's really getting to you and let Howard know.
That's not true. If someone said something to him off air, I think he would. And I've seen people
It
do
depends
that.
on who the someone is.
Yeah.
I have very few cards to play.
I agree with that. I think if Gary told Howard something off air, Howard couldn't help himself.
There's a huge difference between
a show
Lisa G and a me, because she's newer to the group, and and so maybe he's like, well, she's on the show, but she's not like a huge part of the show. So, but for me, there's no wiggle room.
Do you pretty much have complete control over your show, so you could do whatever he's saying?
Yes. Well, yeah, I think so. I actually have a call today, which was set up even before today's discussion, to talk about that. But I pretty much have complete control over it.
Do you think Robin was picking on you a little? Was she laying it on a little thick?
A lot of people came to me and said, boy, Robin, I don't know how you held back with Robin, but I thought Robin was being who she was today. That's just what,
What do you mean by that?
She's going to break my balls. He's breaking my balls. She's going to break my balls. So I didn't think it was particularly vicious. There were people who said that, oh, you should go back and poll Robin when she was on CBS Sunday Morning and she's reading off the teleprompter. But I didn't, I thought Robin was doing what we do.
Do you think Howard will watch the show again?
I don't really care. I really don't care if he watches again. I will change what I'm going to change. And I'm not, a lot of people said, did you take Howard's constructive criticism? And my answer is yes, but I already had that constructive criticism. I knew what I needed to do before I did it. And then somebody would say, well, then why'd you send it to him? And the answer was because he asked me to.
Does it help or hurt more what happened today?
Well, I was telling this to John. Here's the weird thing. I think in its own odd way, in the long run, it helps. And here's what I would say. The show is not where I would like it to be, but it is not as awful as Howard described it. And the analogy I made is probably even with you, Benji. Howard calls you fat. right? And then people see you in public, and they expect you to be 500 pounds, and you're not. And then they go, oh, my God, the way Howard described you on the air. So my feeling is, maybe I'm out of line, that someone will go and watch the show and go, okay, I see what Howard's talking about, but God, it's not nearly as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah, that's why I always tell women, or I used to tell women when I was dating, like, my life isn't where it will be one day.
But isn't that the best when someone comes to you and says, wow, you're nowhere near as fat as Howard says you are.
You're not as ugly, you're not as disgusting.
I will tell you, some people have said this to me as a joke, but some people have said this to me for real, and they really think they're complimenting me, and they go, oh, my God, your teeth aren't so bad.
But do you think do you feel like, does he paint a reputation that will hurt you at all?
Sure.
Do you think some people will just be much more dismissive of it?
I think it will send more people to watch it, that people will get to make up their own mind. I think that I'm talking to a very specific audience, and so Howard doesn't really care about the tech stuff at all. The thing that he probably said today on the air that hurt me the most was that I got him this running watch because we went running together.
I guess you found out what you did with the running watch.
I had a pretty good idea what he did with it because I never heard him talk about it again. He called me once and he said, how do you work this thing? And I said, you push the button in the upper right-hand corner, and then it'll find the satellite, and then you go. And it takes like a minute to find the satellite. I said, just do it while you're stretching. And I never heard him talk about it again, so I knew.
You learned.
I sort of brought it up on purpose to confirm what I knew.
Well, congratulations on that confirmation.